$25 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Offer ends 11/13/2022. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hey, it's Andrew. Listen up. I have to tell you about a spot, not just a spot, but the spot in South Jersey. Club 2120. It's just over the bridge at Pennsauken, and it is South Jersey's finest gentlemen's club and sports lounge. They have it all. Bottle service, and of course, the hottest girls. I'm not lying. They're smoking. They have top shelf selection of the finest liquors, an awesome beer selection. You know how I love my beer. They got it all. And the DirecTV package, so you can catch any game at any time. But let's be honest, you might miss some of the action because the women, they're going to be a welcome distraction. You have to check out Club 2120. 2120 Route 73 in Pennsauken.
Looking for a place to watch the game when our team returns to Philly tomorrow night? Join Tyrone Johnson and the Fanatic crew at Jack's Bar and Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia, the official home of 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party. First 100 fans receive a free Red October t-shirt. Enjoy $2 Miller Lights, plus plenty of food specials on your favorite game day snacks, like shrimp cocktail, chips and salsa, pretzel bites, and more. It's 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party at Jack's Bar and Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia. You must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, home of the most entertaining sports talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Well, your Philadelphia Eagles are still undefeated, 7-0, only here in the city of brotherly love. It's Connor Thomas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I've got your post-game Eagles coverage. Tom Alvord with a much-deserved weekend off, and the Steelers secondary also with a weekend off. Absolutely torched today by the duo of A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And this is just another ho-hum dominating win. I'll tell you what, it's nice to see 2 second-half touchdowns by the Philadelphia Eagles offense. You love to see that. A little bit more balanced scoring today over the course of the game. 7 in the first, 14 in the second, because the second quarter Eagles are the best football team ever put on the face of this planet. And then 7 in the third, 7 in the fourth. A little bit more balance there for what ended up being a 35-13 win. Listen, this is going to be a really, really fun post-game show because there is not remotely anything that this team can't do. Not remotely. There's not a perfect outcome for today's game because we still have to figure out about the health of Jordan Davis, who was carted off the field, an ankle injury. We will talk to Tim McManus during the program tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whatever you want to call it, and we'll figure out what we can learn, a little bit of information there, and we'll keep you updated on the latest news from the guys talking to him post-game to see what's going on with Jordan Davis. That would be certainly a substantial loss in the middle of the defensive line, but outside of that injury to Jordan Davis, pretty much a clean day at Lincoln Financial Field for the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. Brown is uncoverable. I don't know what else to say. My man cannot be covered. I think it was every single one of his 3 touchdown catches today he was double teamed. Like it just seemed like they were draping guys all over him, and there's nothing you can do. I don't know how you cover A.J. Brown at this point. And when Jalen Hurts is zoned in like he was today, I know some rough throws at points on some drives that didn't go anywhere, but the touchdown throws to A.J. Brown were just, it was dime after dime after dime from Jalen Hurts today. This is the Eagles running on all cylinders, and for my money right now, there's not a team in the NFL that can play with them when they play a game like they did today. I understand it's Kenny Pickett. It's a rookie quarterback. It's the 2-5 Steelers. Well, now they're 2-6 thanks to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're not exactly world beaters. There's issues with that team. It looks like Mike Tomlin is going to be under 500 for the first time in his coaching career. No problem. Sorry about that. The Steelers still have, never beaten the Eagles at home in Philadelphia. I was going to say at Lincoln Financial Field, but in general, the Vet, Franklin Field, anywhere. man, we'll play them in a cornfield at this point. The Steelers cannot beat the Eagles if it's a home game for Philadelphia. It was just a beautiful, beautiful afternoon at Citizens Bank Park. See, that's what it is. It almost feels like the game was overshadowed despite the great win by the Philadelphia Eagles, because that's how easy it is for this football team right now. At, of course, Lincoln Financial Field, where the football is played in the city. 610-632-0975 is how you get in to join the program. And this is a celebration today. We've had a lot of celebratory shows lately on these airwaves with the Phillies run. And, we've got the Union later today, who are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, rather. And then the Eagles, of course, being 7-0. And it's just another one today. Just another day in the city of winners, Philadelphia. One of the hottest streaks that I've ever seen for this sports landscape in this city right now. It's almost, I don't know if passé is the right word. I don't want to say I'm tired of it, right? Because you never get tired of winning. You never do. We've been through so many tough times in this city. And this football team has been through a lot of tough times. Last year was a surprising year, a playoff year. But it wasn't what we expect from our football team. And how they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year in the postseason kind of left us with a sour taste in our mouth despite the overachievement that last year's team had. But this is a real year for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as much as we will recap today's game, by the way, great work by the Eagles secondary. Avonte Maddox looked really good today with a little bit of the fan fest bump. Darius Slay, good as always. James Bradbury, absolutely unbelievable. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, another interception. This is just a team that puts really, really good performances out week in and week out, regardless of if they're playing Pittsburgh or whoever lines up against them. And with how the schedule sets up, yeah, the Eagles are in shape to have an astounding record by the time this season is over. Now, the unfortunate news, and it's not Eagles related, but the other thing we got to look at as far as keeping pace, the Giants haven't played yet, but the Cowboys win. So the NFC East continues to be the Titanic division in football this year. But it's got to feel, as much as it's kind of like annoying to see, okay, well, the Eagles are unbelievable and they're 7-0 and they keep winning, and yet they've only got technically a one game, and now it's like 1.5 because the Giants haven't played yet. But that slim of a lead in the division, you still got to think about what it's like to be a team chasing the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Like if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, if you're a New York Giants fan, you're having really, really good starts to your season. That's like, wow, well, I mean, the Eagles just don't lose. We can't catch them. It's a great time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And I'll tell you who else is kicking themselves. It's not just the Eagles' division rivals who have to try and catch them. Again, the Eagles taking down the Pittsburgh Steelers today to move to 7-0 by a score of 35-13 on what was a beautiful afternoon at Lincoln Financial Field, both weather-wise and performance-wise. But if you live down there in Nashville, Tennessee, or just the great state of Tennessee in general, thank you cards are on the way, because you've got to be sick to your stomach watching what A.J. Brown is doing right now in Midnight Green. How do you trade that guy? How is that guy wearing an Eagles uniform right now? How does that guy ever get out of that city? It makes absolutely no sense that he's here. And, man, it's going to be really, really fun to watch him play out his contract, and hopefully another one, and hopefully maybe a ring in there at some point. It's euphoric right now to think about the connection between Jalen Hurts and his best friend, A.J. Brown. Not only that, Zach Pascal gets in on the celebration today. I believe his first touchdown of the year. Great work by him on that. It's just, this team, they beat the teams that are supposed to be tough opponents. And when they get the teams that they're supposed to handle, they make the 3-foot putts. They make routine look easy. And there's a difference to that. There are teams out there, plenty of teams this year, because the NFL, frankly, there are not that many good teams. In the NFL this year, there are plenty of teams that make routine games look difficult, that will play, I don't know, the Chicago Bears and make it look like a tough game, that'll play the Cleveland Browns and make it look like a tough game, that'll play the Jacksonville Jaguars, who started off hot, but and not a bad performance by Travis Etienne and them today, but play teams that are on the lower end of the league still and make it look tough. The Eagles, when they play these teams, they look like what they are. The best darn football team in the NFC, easily. And for my money, the best team in football right now. And yes, that includes Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, that includes Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It was incredible. And we'll talk at length about A.J. Brown and the performance he put up today. 3 touchdowns in a game, the first Eagles wide receiver to do that since Kevin Curtis. Kevin Curtis, what a name to be associated with there in Eagles lore. And there are a couple other guys way back who had 3 touchdowns receiving for the Philadelphia Eagles. But A.J. Brown, 3 in the first half. Absolutely incredible. And while it was the Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown show today, tell you what, Miles Sanders, enjoy what you're seeing from him now. He will not be wearing midnight green after this year because he simply played so well this year that he's going to get too big of a contract for the Eagles to pay him. Maybe Howie Roseman will do something crazy. I think he's more prudent than that. And this is no knock on Miles Sanders. It's just the running back position. It's hard to pay guys like that when their first big contract comes up. He's fully deserving of one, so enjoy that. The linebackers, they had moments today where Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson were a little bit more open than you'd like to see them, running those flat routes, running stuff over the middle. But another good performance by them. Kaiser White is a difference maker. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We asked, how did A.J. Brown make it out of Tennessee? How did Chauncey Gardner-Johnson make it out of New Orleans? I understand that they didn't want to pay him, but my goodness. This was, you know what? I hesitate to say this because he doesn't put on shoulder pads. He's never worn an Eagles uniform. He does have a nice mural in his office of some people who do it, but I may say that the most important Eagle today was Howie Roseman. Because some of the acquisitions that man has made, it just showed up in neon today. Not midnight green, neon green. It felt like A.J. Brown and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson were wearing. And we'll see what Quinn will look like. Yeah, he had a rough jump off sides in pretty much the only time that we heard his name or number called today. But, of course, a short week for the newest Eagle out of Chicago. It's a beautiful time right now to be a Philadelphia sports fan. And maybe more so even than, well, the Phillies are already in the World Series, so probably mostly Phillies. But the Eagles are right up there, and that is saying something for a team that's only halfway through their season compared to a team that's 3 wins away from being world champions. Just shows you how good this football team has been through 8 weeks, 7 games. Now, here's where the drawback comes, right? Because I'm going to try and find things when you're, and I've talked about this many times on the air, at 610-632-0975 if you're leaving the game. If you were out at the bar watching the game. If you want to talk about A.J. Brown being superhuman, another species. If you want to apologize for doubting that Jalen Hurts could throw a deep ball on a dime like we saw him do today. We will take all callers, celebratory, apologizing, anything like that. If you're doubting this Eagles team, I don't know how you could be. But I know there's some people who still find something a little bit negative. And here's why I don't agree with that, but I kind of understand it. Because when you're a football team that's this good, the right thing to do is be overly critical, especially them in the room. Not so much us as fans. We should, out there, you listening, you should be enjoying this. And we should be listening and enjoying this. Me, Ray Dunn, who's on the board, Haley, who's running the YouTube, Matt Menark, who's back there cutting some post-game sound for us. We should all be enjoying this, but we also get the benefit of being overly critical of this football team because of how good they are, and we now know what the expectations are. You don't start 7-0 without thinking about the Super Bowl. You don't start 7-0 without expecting playoff success. You can't ever expect a Super Bowl because we know how hard that is to do. But I don't know what else this team needs to show you to put themselves firmly in that stratosphere. I don't care about the power rankings. I don't care about the national reporters that might put the Bills or Chiefs above them. I care about what my eyes see. And today I think my eyes watched the best football team in the NFL take the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers and beat the ever-living, nope, I'm not going to say it, as Ray reaches for the dump button, but you know what, out of our cross-state rivals. It's just a beautiful thing. And we're going to hear from head coach Nick Sirianni when he takes the podium. We're going to hear from quarterback Jalen Hurts. We might even check in, rare occasions that we go to somebody else for the postgame presser because I do want your reactions. I give you a chance to talk. We may even hear some from A.J. Brown a little bit later in the program. He's currently on the stand right now. So he's at the podium, and we will see if he has anything worth note. Now, I'd love to hear his explanation of the taunting penalty that he got for pointing at the two Steelers defensive backs that he went over for his third touchdown. Just absolutely love that. I mean, and frankly, I'm so happy too that scrolling through Twitter after he got that personal foul, that unsportsmanlike conduct after his third touchdown, I was so happy scrolling through Twitter that everyone was like, dude, you can do that whenever you want. You can dance around the field, you take your helmet off, do whatever you want if you're going to catch 3 touchdowns and a half. So I was happy to see that no one was actually upset with A.J. Brown for taking that penalty. Should he have not taken it? Sure, whatever. I'm not losing sleep over that remotely. This reminds me of, you remember back in 2017 when the Eagles were beating the brakes off the Chicago Bears, who are a very bad football team and still kind of are. And they had an interception that you thought was an interception. They go out and they do like the cha-cha slide, the electric slide, whatever it was. It was the electric slide, I believe. And then the interception gets called back. And then like 2 plays later, they get another interception and they're dancing again. We're into dancing on teams' graves territory. We're into we're up so much, take penalties territory. You know what the Eagles are, Ray? I'll tell you this in 610-632-0975. That's how you jump in to Eagles post-game coverage here. It's Connor Thomas on 97.5 The Fanatic. We're not remotely on the same level. Before I get people like, oh, are you comparing yourself to a professional athlete? This actually isn't even about me. But this is not remotely the same level. I played in a men's league one time, a men's basketball league. And we had 2 guys that I worked with that sold mortgages. One of them was a D1 AA football player, had some pro tryouts. The other one played professional basketball in Spain. Like, they were monsters. We played in the C division of a random men's basketball league, and it was a technical to dunk the ball. And these guys were like 6'4", both 6'4" twins, athletic as anything. And we would get up like 40 on guys who had just come from their desk job. And we would say, okay, we could start letting them dunk now. And those 2 guys would go down, just like throw down windmills and take the technical, and they take the points off the board. And they'd give them the 2 free throws or whatever it was. And then we'd continue to play because we were up so much. That is what the Philadelphia Eagles are right now when they play a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is take a technical for dunking a dude into the crust of the earth when you're not allowed to territory. That was what the A.J. Brown penalty was. And I love it. I love them knowing how good they are. Now, what they'll tell us and what we will guaranteed hear from Jalen Hurts today. We'll probably hear it from Nick Sirianni either today or in his first availability of the work week coming up. And remember, a short week, Thursday night in Houston. What we will hear is we still need to go 1-0 the next week. We're probably going to hear Jalen Hurts say, we still left money on the table. Well, it's got to be a tough argument to make for this week's game, but still, they didn't score on every single drive, so I guess technically correct. And we're going to hear about the focus that needs to be put on each game regardless of what they're doing. But in the moment, in the game, on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays, or heck, if they play Saturday, Wednesday, Tuesday, any day that ends in Y. If you're up like that, I have no issue with A.J. Brown celebrating the way he did. And I want them to start just absolutely demolishing teams, taking teams' will to play out the entirety of the game. 610-632-0975. Let's open up the phones. We're still waiting for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni to come to the podium. And let's start off with Aaron in Germantown. Who wants to talk, of course, about the unbeaten Philadelphia Eagles. Aaron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor.
How we doing, man?
Connor.
Yes, Aaron.
How we doing?
I'm feeling 7-0, Aaron.
Come on, we're 7-0.
That's
All
right.
So real quick, what did you just say? I just tweeted out, I'm already ready to be mad at Jalen Hurts for saying we left money on the table. And
You know he's going to say it, though, right, Aaron?
You know he's going to say it. You know it's coming. I'm already be mad at it because they played their behinds off, and I'm trying my bestest to use the TG words right now.
Please do. If not, Ray's got you, but please try and, yeah.
Yes, I will absolutely take care of you guys.
My man.
Take care of you. This is my first time talking to you, Connor. I really appreciate you. Love listening to you.
Thank you, man.
This Birds team is so talented all the way around. And you can say where you think it starts from, but it has to start with the cornerback. Like the talent we have at corner, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I'm 36, Connor, and I've been 5 for 5. We just dropped the Flyers off, but 5 for 5.
Hey, they've had a pretty good start to the year too.
Yeah, they had a pretty good start. We'll see what happens.
Were you around? Let me ask you, Aaron. Were you around for the Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, the early 2000s?
Yes, I remember Troy Vince. I remember Bobby Taylor. I remember Doc a little bit more.
Because that was a damn good secondary too. Like that's one that you end up going to the Super Bowl with. So
yeah. Like my favorite player is oh my gosh, he's always hunting, and now I can't remember his name. I'm tripping. I got married the same exact place he got married.
Who always hunting? What, defensive player?
Yeah, defensive player, always hunting.
What, back in the day? Trent Cole?
Yeah, Trent Cole. Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Favorite Eagle of all time is Trent Cole. I'm sorry, I'm still turned up by this.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
But yeah. So I go back about that far. I would say is when it really turned up. But this team, man, it starts with the cornerbacks. The ability to put them up man versus man against anybody in any situation has never been seen by this team before. Like you just can't just do that with any other team. Like we had coverage on the back end with Doc, and we had some like great safeties and things like that, but we never had two low-key shut-down corners. And also, like, the way that Jalen Hurts has progressed, and anybody that has anything bad to say about Hurts now is just wrong. It's just wrong, period. Like, if you were like, I want to give him a season, cool, give him a season. But right now, looking at him, those 3 passes to A.J. Brown.
Unreal, right?
Was like, the first one was like, all right, he put it in a place where he can get an A.J. Brown. Got it. The next 2, he put it where A.J. Brown will succeed. And it was miraculous. They were dimes.
It was just so good, Aaron. It was incredible.
Damian Lillard could make a rap about them dimes.
I don't need to hear any more Dame raps. He's still stuck in Portland, and like he should have found his way out to here. But Aaron, listen, man, I appreciate the energy. I love the call. We're just up against it, but I appreciate it. And man, the 7-0 Birds, that'll get people hyped up. He's right too when he talks about the secondary. Now, we're 7 games in for the Eagles, 8 weeks in for the Darius Slay, James Bradbury era. I'll tell you what, Avonte Maddox looked good today. I don't want to say it was the Fan Fest bump by Slay and Avonte Maddox. I don't want to say when I was up there talking to him, I leaned over and said, hey, man, I played pretty solid corner for the freshman football team at Rancocas Valley Regional, so if you want some tips for Kenny Pickett tomorrow, I backpedaled a time or two in my life. But no, it definitely was not that. They looked incredible, and while it's still relatively early into that tenure, like we know Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor, the legacy, and of course Doc, the legacy that they built in this city in that secondary. They look damn good though, and these guys are in that conversation. They might not have the guy that, because Brian Dawkins has always been like a lock Hall of Famer. Like there was no doubt that man was different, and I don't know if you could put Slay in that category. I don't think, because Dawkins is rarer air. But as a unit, I think they deserve to be in the conversation with that early 2000s core that was really, really good, that helped this Eagles team go to 4 straight NFC championship games and be dominant then. I mean, you could say a lot of good things about basically every unit, even special teams. And we were talking about special teams looked rough, and they have had moments this year where the special teams has looked kind of iffy for the Eagles. If we're nitpicking, which again, we get the ability. We have the courtesy of nitpicking because this Eagles team is so darn good. But today, a huge play by Zach McPherson on that the punt that almost went into the end zone. They laid out for that. Then you got a situation where the Steelers player picks it up and runs backwards into the end. Weird play there on special teams, but a great play by Zach McPherson. And sets up a really tough drive for the Steelers. It's just everything's firing on all cylinders right now for the Eagles. It's a wonderful thing. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. 610-632-0975. We will come back on the other side. And actually, you know what? We're going to push it because we have Nick Sirianni right now, and we will hit the break after. Let's hear from the head coach.
Taylor. Hop on. You good? All right, fire away.
Nick, there seemed to be less RPO today, as we've seen earlier in the season. Was there an emphasis during the bye week to do more traditional dropbacks?
No, because RPOs have been pretty good for us. RPOs, you got to think that we're looking to run the ball first on RPOs. So when we do pass, it's an extra pass that happens, but we're looking to run it first there. So, but no, we definitely worked hard in the bye week. I'm really happy with our coaches of how much time they put in and how much information we got done. Like, and it's a group effort, right? And so analytics department giving us a lot of different things, defensive coaches looking at things for the offense and vice versa. We felt like we fixed some tendencies. We were able to get a couple things off of some tendencies and create some explosive plays off some tendencies that we had. And that's what the bye week's for. It's a very, very important part of the process. Is that all right? See you guys later.
You've seen games like that from A.J. Brown before.
I sure have. And when I was in Indianapolis and he was having them on our defense. So, yeah, I've seen that before.
Was this any different or more special? I mean, it was his biggest game yet.
Yeah, that was a big time game. It was special because I was on the same sideline with him, right? And just so much credit to Howie and his staff to get that done. And because he makes us so much better. He's just doing a great job. Jalen and him had an instant connection on the field. We know they had the connection off the field, and he had a big time game for us today, and it was good to see that.
AJ mentioned on his first touchdown he wasn't the primary read. What was that play supposed to look like?
First touchdown, gosh. We had a couple different things going on there. We felt like Minka was a little low on the play, and Jalen took advantage of that. And so there was whether he was the primary or not, Jalen did a good job of getting through his read and finding it for a touchdown.
AJ said that Jalen is still in the lab, becoming the player that he can be. How close is he to being the player that he's eventually?
I think that's been asked to me before, and what I've answered with that is that we don't know. Jalen's just the type of guy that's going to continue to get better, because the type of person he is, the type of football IQ he has, the type of football character he has, the toughness that he has, how much he loves football, right? And he's just going to keep extending. I was always taught those are the types of guys that reach their ceiling. And I don't know if we know what his ceiling is going to be. I know this. I know he's getting better every day, and he's committed to that. And that's a good thing for the rest of your team when your best players and your captain's getting better every day.
You look especially fired up on obviously you're fired up a lot, but especially so on the Zach Pascal touchdown there, that fake screen to Goddard. What did you see there?
I love Zach Pascal. Zach Pascal, for the 5 years or the 4 years I've been with him, has always done the dirty work. Always. And it's great when you can reward a guy that does the dirty work who might not have the stats, but that, it's awesome to be able to reward him for that. And that's what happens sometimes when a guy's doing dirty work. Everyone's focused on the other guys when he's doing the dirty work, that he ends up wide open for touchdown. So, Zach doing all those little things, all the little things that are important to a football team, that's sweet, right? And I love to see that because I love the guy. You aren't around a guy for that long and not have a good relationship with him. And I'm so glad he's here. I knew he could do all the dirty work we wanted him to do, and man, that was sweet. I think even to this day, my son, and maybe not you, but that's one of his favorite players is Zach Pascal, because I think what happens is just the same thing that happened when I would go home and hear my dad talk about the guys that he loved on his football team or his track team. My son's heard, he's a little too young. Taylor's a little too young, but they've heard me say so many things good about Zach Pascal. It's just one of his favorite guys out there. So, it was awesome to get him, to reward him for all the hard work that he's done.
Even with all these wins, everyone seems to be emphasizing that you haven't played a complete game yet. What would a complete game look like in your eyes?
I thought we had a good first and second half today. I do. That's a good. I think that's a good. Don't make him. I think that's a good football team. I know that's a extremely well-coached football team. I can't say enough good things. Hey, Taylor, stop that. Okay, don't do that anymore. You're gonna have to leave. Okay. I can't say enough good things about Coach Tomlin. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. that's a really good team. And I think we played a pretty complete game, and we needed to today to be able to close that out. We really wanted to emphasize how we start the second half. You know, we have had some second half woes, and we really traced it back to how we started second halves, and it was good to be able to go down and execute today to start things off, to set the tone that we needed to play a complete game. And I thought we did that. I thought we did a good job of that today. And it changes. You go up 3 scores and you're at the end. Of course, you're going to take some air out of that and not be quite as aggressive and run the clock. And so I thought today was one of our most complete games that we've had all year.
Nick, was there something you guys did during the bye week in terms of something you found about the team that you thought showed itself today?
Yeah, there was a lot. I really do. Like I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I think we did a lot, and the players went out and executed. It's such an important part of the process. The bye week's such an important part of the process, and it's not just the coaches that it's going into. Taylor, baby, stop. Okay, it's not just the coaches. It's the entire building, right? It's the analytics department. It's the strength and conditioning staff of how we're going to finish better in the second half. That we had our ideas of how we wanted to start the second half better, but the strength and conditioning staff and the training staff and the doctors also had I'm not smart enough to say the word how the body works there going into the second half, and we'll do anything we can to make this team better. And just a credit, obviously all the credit goes to the guys, but it's just so many parts of this organization. Mr. Lurie's the head of this organization, and he is always, he supports us in everything and in all departments. And then you see something like that after a bye week and all the hands on deck. That's why it's the greatest team game, because it's not just the coaches and players, it's the front office, it's the analytics department, it's the equipment staff with Greg, all right, it's Dom and the security, right, it's everybody, it's Ted and his strength and conditioning staff, it's Tom, all right, and the training staff, and I'm Pat Dolan and the video staff. We ask Pat Dolan for everything, and how many different things can you give us in cut-ups? And so, can't say enough good things about the organization.
As far as Jalen's development.
All right, we're going to cut out because we're a little bit past the break, and Nick Sirianni's gotten to the point of the press conference where he's just naming every person who works for the Eagles. Got his kids at the podium. They're interrupting. They're like, I guess the kids are messing with each other, his son. Two kids hanging out there just causing ruckus. So, an interesting Nick Sirianni vintage press conference there from the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, rather 35-13. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. We'll have more of your phone calls, 610-632-0975 if you want to jump in. We will hear from Jalen Hurts. We will update you on when we'll hear from Tim McManus. Still a lot to come on a packed Eagles postgame show. We will be right back with you here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
And let me ask you a question. How great would it be to have tickets for any of the next 3 games at Citizens Bank Park? Well, here's a great way to buy them, while saving all those exorbitant fees. You don't want to spend, listen, the tickets are already going to be really expensive. You don't want to then drop hundreds of dollars in fees. That's ridiculous. Go to tickpick.com now. That's TICKPICK. TickPick is the original no-fee ticket site that guarantees the best prices on these home game tickets. They're going to be so expensive, guys. The only place to make sure that you're getting the best possible deal is our friends over at TickPick. Since they don't charge any service fees, as of this morning, the get-in price for a pair of tickets to the park on TickPick was by far cheaper than any other ticket marketplace. And you could save an extra $50, 50 bones right in your pocket, if you use code FANATIC to get to any of the next 3 home games. Don't believe it, just be sure to compare TickPick's prices with a competing site at checkout, because that's when those sites, they all put on those ridiculous tack-on fees, the sneaky service fees. You don't want to miss these home games. Come on, it's the World Series. They'll make memories and stories that you'll tell for the rest of your life. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Download the TickPick app or visit tickpick.com now for the easiest way to save money on these tickets. And don't forget to use code FANATIC. That's tickpick.com.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, America's #1 sports book. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Bob. You know what some of your favorite bets are. You can go money line, you can go point spreads, but here's what you do. You grab your favorite player, and you might bet over-under on rushing yardage or receiving yardage. or anytime touchdown in a game. And now with live betting, I get updated odds on games that have already started. And most importantly, you get paid fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up with promo code Bob for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code Bob. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Helzberg Diamonds presents the holy grail of engagement rings. Michael was getting engaged and needed a ring, but not just any ring, the engagement ring. The kind that when he saw it, he'd just know. So Michael looked around online, asked friends for advice.
I want a ring that's special. One that's, You
gotta go to Helzberg.
Michael went to Helzberg Diamonds, where he found an incredible selection of beautiful rings, settings, and both lab-grown and natural diamonds, certified and guaranteed to be of the highest quality. He also met Sarah, a Helzberg diamond expert, who helped him find that special ring he was looking for, so that when his fiancée opened the box...
Wow, it's...
Yep, sounds right to me. Be like Michael. Find the engagement ring of her dreams at a Helzberg store near you or online at Helzberg.com. And right now at Helzberg Diamonds, take advantage of special financing offers.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease and spent the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in our lives. For 5 weeks as a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon instead of having to sleep in a hospital bed. Starlight provides moments of joy for families like mine at a time where there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
Every drive starts somewhere. For First Trust Bank, our drive started in Philadelphia and continues to this day. As Philly's hometown bank for more than 85 years, we know this city's people. We understand their passions, and we work our tails off to help them reach their goals every day. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank. First Trust Bank, the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. Member FDIC.
Hey, Sixer fans, it's Matt Cord for the Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers. The Bet Parks app is fun to use. Build around on what you want right from your phone. It's easy to sign up, great customer service, and faster to win than ever before. Download the Bet Parks app today. The Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers.
See website for terms and conditions. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need new tires? CJ's Tire and Automotive is ready when you are. They'll get you in and out in no time. And right now, through November 6th, you can get up to $100 back when you buy a set of 4 select hand-cooked tires. Hand-cooked tires provide smooth handling and enhanced driving comfort. They are built to last longer and increase fuel efficiency. No wonder hand-cooked tires are one of CJ's best sellers. With thousands of tires in stock and 17 convenient locations, CJ's has tires that anyone can afford. CJ's Tire and Automotive. Better, faster, and more affordable.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your dog.
Check front door, check window, check other window. Rest chin on ground, look into distance. Bark for no reason. Check front door, check window, check other window.
Your pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Chase shiny ball, lose shiny ball. Find shiny ball, eat shiny ball.
Get coverage for your pet. Anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Hello, my 4for4 fans. November tastes like Miller time in Philadelphia. Join me, Anthony Gargano, and the Tunis Tuesday, November 1st, for a special live broadcast at Tonelli's Pizza Pub in Horsham from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., presented by Miller Lite. Come get pumped up with us before Game 4. Bring your friends and family. Order their world-famous Tonelli's pizza, wings, cheesesteaks, hoagies. Get Miller Lite 97-cent drafts. It's going to be a blast. For details, visit the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, to become the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and creators, we're going to need some things.
Like a high-speed internet connection that can turn my ideas into reality.
Like the skills to become the world's most powerful coder.
Like the tools to start my sustainable shoe business.
You just heard some of the millions of students Comcast is supporting through Project Up, our comprehensive initiative and $1 billion commitment to open doors and connect next generation so they can build a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at Comcast.com/Project Up.
Bet Rivers Casino app has so many slots, your head will spin. There's the classics like 88 Fortunes and Jinji Baoshi, and new favorites like Dancing Drum Explosion and Hurricane Horse Coin Combo. Plus, right now, when you make a first-time deposit of $50 using code CASINO, you'll get $200 in free play. That's $200. Download the Bet Rivers Casino app today. It's a whole new game.
Presented by Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Cuz. You're watching the game this week with friends? Score big. Serve in style. Primo Hoagies party trays and sampler platters. You get the best tasting hoagies ever. Save yourself the prep time. Stop into one of their over 90 locations for the greatest hoagies ever. It's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo.
Philly, we're big fans of keeping you healthy. With Health Fanatics by Virtua Health, explore exclusive articles, expert insights, and so much more. Visit 97.5thefanatic.com/Virtua.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere on Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. Adam Schefter plays on one station in Philly, 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's 4:38, and the Philadelphia Eagles are still undefeated. And we're going to be able to say that today and tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. And a short week for the Eagles. Don't forget, they will be in Houston. And, of course, we've already been dealing with Houston with the World Series and everything going on. But I'm going to say that the game against the Houston Texans should probably be a little bit less competitive than what the World Series has been. Because, like we talked about in the open, the Philadelphia Eagles, when they play lesser teams, take care of business week in and week out. Short week, long week, road, home, doesn't matter. The Philadelphia Eagles are 7-0. Connor Thomas here on 97.5 The Fanatic with your post-game coverage. By the way, we're on YouTube. I know it's just me, so you're going to see a lot of my smiley face. Tom Alvord with the weekend off, much deserved. If you want to go ahead and check us out on YouTube, you can go ahead and see everything there. Haley back there running the YouTube for us. If you want to chime in, 610-632-0975 can check in there. We will hear from Jalen Hurts in just a little bit. I think Dallas Goedert currently talking right now. We had a pretty solid day today. Yeah, I mean, everyone for the Eagles had a pretty solid day today. I'm trying to think about someone who had a rough one. Of course, we will update you when we hear more about the Jordan Davis injury. Jordan Davis, if you didn't see, carted off just before halftime of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers this afternoon at Lincoln Financial Field. An ankle injury by reports, but we don't know the severity. We may... Excuse me as I get all choked up. I mean, it's a big loss. We get all choked up because Jordan Davis could be a guy that not being available impacts the structural integrity of this defensive line. So we'll see what we've got going on there, and we may not get enough information today. It could be one of those, hey, he's going to have an MRI, hey, he's going to have an X-ray. We'll see. But if anyone knows, Tim McManus will know, and we will talk to him coming up later in the program as well once we find out Tim's availability. Tim's never hurt. Tim's always available. Tim doesn't get hurt. Tim doesn't miss games or anything like that. We just have to let him finish his job covering the team first, and then he will share some of his time with us. But outside of the Jordan Davis injury, pretty darn good day for everybody associated with the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't think of negative. Maybe Gardner Minshew had a bit of a rough couple of drives in the fourth quarter. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you out there listening, if you felt this way too. Felt kind of premature to have Gardner Minshew come into the game. It felt like they kind of went to, I understand 22-point lead, but there were 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I get the Steelers are not a good football team. And Kenny Pickett, while I do think he's got some flashes of ability, he's not yet a good quarterback at the NFL level. I think one day he will be a serviceable one, but obviously he's not there yet. It's just, it felt early. And then you remember, which a great point a lot of people have brought up on Twitter postgame, you remember the Eagles are on a short week. They got a Thursday night game. So if you can get these guys rest, if you can get Jalen Hurts a couple of series off, if you can get the offensive line a couple series off, if you can go ahead and get Miles Sanders, because Boston Scott was in there taking the running back snaps there. Like, rest is really, really important for this team. I know they just came off the bye week, but they don't have a bye week the rest of the way. They got their week off. And if there's anything that's kind of troubling me about the rest of the way for the Eagles, because I look down the list of teams that they'll be playing, and I don't see a team that's on their level, including the Cowboys, who you've already beaten, regardless of who was playing quarterback, including the Giants, who are a good football team, but I still don't think on the level of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just the key the rest of the way. The biggest worry for me is that it was kind of an early bye, and now the rest of the way you have to manage things when injuries happen, like what we saw to Jordan Davis today. Rest for some players when you can get it. There will be instances where guys get a little banged up even if they're not on the injury report. So that's going to be one of the tougher battles the rest of the way. And if resting your guys is one of your biggest concerns, and we're only in week 8, it means they're a pretty damn good football team. And we have Jalen Hurts, speaking of a guy who got some rest, available right now in his post-game availability. Let's hear from the quarterback of the Eagles.
When you're in that kind of zone, what's it like?
I don't know. I guess I was in the zone. I feel like I could have done more. I feel like, you look at the third quarter, I think there was an opportunity to make some plays, had some negative plays there. I think 2-minute drive before halftime, took some sacks that I feel like I could have avoided. Probably could have got the ball out. And then we kind of started off hitting some low, and it's a testament to the receivers we have, the protection we had all day. And, we were unwavering, you know what I'm saying? And I think we just kind of kept focused to playing to the standard and chasing that, you know what I mean? And hell of a game by AJ. He making big-time plays. I know he wants something back for sure, but hell of a game by him.
Jalen, can you break down how much of your improvement this year is you and the work you put in to get better as a player? And how much of it is the guys around you, whether guys around you got better or guys you added?
It's hard for me to really talk about myself in that standpoint. People don't see the work that's put in, not just by me individually, but by AJ, by Smitty, by Dallas Goedert, by Jason Kelsey, by Miles, by Nick Sirianni, by everybody. It takes work, and it's a grind. And the beautiful thing about this team is we've grinded together. We've had OTAs, we've had training camp, we've bonded. We put in so much valuable time together to chase this feeling of achievement and chase this feeling of, going out there and playing at a high level. So, I tell you, after every game, I feel like there's always much more out there for us to do. Obviously we have a short week this week, so it's a different mentality as well. But it's a testament to the work we put in as a team. It's no man is an island. You got to draw your strength from others. And when a guy may miss a throw low, or a guy may miss a pass or miss a block or whatever, we got each other back. We got each other's back.
AJ Brown, what's it like, throwing the ball up to him and having him come down with it just about every time?
I have a lot of trust in AJ. Have a lot of trust in him. I think that's a lot of the reason why he's here. We've always had a great relationship, and I think it's been beautiful to see how it's unfolded throughout the year. How that, personally for him and I, and also us on the field, I've always had a lot of admiration for his mentality, his want to, and he's been doing great things for us. I'm proud of him as a friend and as a quarterback.
Where's that mindset come from that whatever you do, you can do something more? Is that from family or just what you learn that way?
I call them formative experiences. I think I've endured a lot. I think I've been fortunate to go through things that have built character in me. They have made me a stronger individual, a stronger man, and it's allowed me to understand the importance of competition, the importance of seeing something through, and the importance of working for what you want. And I've just always prided myself on that, and that's something that I saw my dad do as a kid. I saw how he handled being a coach. I saw how he uplifted the people around him, how he was a service to the kids, high school kids. I saw how my mom did it. I saw how everybody did it, and I was just always trying to learn from the people around me.
You mentioned the work that goes into it, Jalen. When we were talking to AJ, he kind of, wanted to bring up the plays he didn't make before he talked about plays he did. You're the same way. Does it take work to do that, to get that mindset that it seems a lot of players have on this team?
No, I don't think it takes work. I think you either have it or you don't. I think the great players are eager to be the best and be the best all the time. And when you look at the opportunities that you didn't take advantage of, like you can go out there and go have a statistically perfect game, catch every ball, but there's always something. There's always something. And enough is never enough. And we just strive for that. We strive for something that we may never get, but we continue to go chase it.
Jalen, AJ said that first touchdown wasn't supposed to come to him. He thought, oh man, I got to play. What was the design of that play? Where did you want to go? And he said that playing with you have to be aware at all times the ball might be coming to you.
Yeah. That's one thing I try and tell all the receivers is, although the ball is not supposed to go to you, be aware, because I may see something on the field that may entice me to make that throw to him. So I always encourage them to be ready at all times and run every route to win. And he did a great job today being ready in a couple of different situations, and he made some big-time plays. I'm proud of him.
What's it mean for you to go home now? The team's 7-0. You're playing like this, and all your friends and family are going to get to see you. What is that going to be like?
I think going back home and playing in Houston, it's always been a dream of mine, and I never had the opportunity to go play in Reliant as a kid, now known as NRG. I spent a lot of time in the Houston Texans facility. My godfather being on staff as a child, and I have a lot of memories at that place. So it'll be exciting. I think we've definitely transitioned fairly quickly. I know we talk about having a 24-hour rule and enjoy it for 24 hours. Where we ain't got that much time having a Thursday night game. So I think the team is going to enjoy it for. I gave them like 8 o'clock tonight or so after they eat dinner or something like that. But come back tomorrow when we go to the facility and relock in and attack the opponent that's in front of us.
Only 8 o'clock, Jalen? Can't get to 9 o'clock? Come on.
I'm not sure.
It seems for 2 years when we've asked you about the passing game, you've spoken about efficiency and consistency. To have this type of performance where I think you ran the ball only twice, what does that say about your development as a passer to this point?
I think it's bigger than just the overall development of one part of my game. I think it's about being able to be a threat in many different ways, and that's something that a guy like me, I have the ability to do that naturally. Being able to run, and we talk about do it that, but I like to call it a triple threat. You have to be able to kill them with your legs at times and make the throws when you need to in the passing game, and kill them with your mind and what you see and how you react. Because you get into a point where you get different looks and they try to get you, but you just want to try and be ready for all of those looks and have an answer for it. And that's the testament to the preparation, to the people I have around me, and it's just a uphill climb. That's what we always talk about. It's an uphill climb. So that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I honestly feel like there is no arrival. There is no arrival. You will never get to a point where you say, I've arrived. There is no arrival. There's only the journey. And I've embraced that journey. And I'll continue to do that and take it day by day and just try and climb.
Is there time for two more? Two more.
Was they more your arm or your mind?
It was everything. It was the whole triple threat, and I think it's a testament to the preparation, like I said, the guys around me. AJ making big-time plays, Zach coming in and making big-time plays, well-deserved. It's important, the preparation.
How good is it, though, to have guys like AJ and people like even Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert? How comforting is that you can go to any one of those guys and also get other guys involved, when you're on a hot streak like that?
I have fun with it because I've seen all of these guys do amazing things. I've seen Devontae Smith do crazy things in college. I've seen AJ as a friend, as a fan, take slants 70. I've seen Dallas Goedert make the craziest catches in the game and in practice. So when I see him make those plays in the game, or better yet, when I'm playing with him in the game, I'm like, I got my popcorn ready. After I throw him the ball, I want to make sure I do my job to get him the ball, and then I can be a fan and kind of watch him go to work. And I think that's just a testament to them, and I think for us, it looks differently by the day, but we always prepare together, and we always go into the field, go into a game, trying to be on the same page, and I think that's allowed us to be productive, and we just want to continue to build in that.
Well, listen to that, man. That's, what is that? The second time we've heard, well, I guess it was a former Eagle at that point when Terrell Owens said, but get your popcorn ready. Jalen Hurts playing with the weapons he has. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Zach Pascal, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders. Knows what those guys can do. He gets his popcorn ready every week. And I'll tell you what, today, you better have had your popcorn out to watch Jalen Hurts and the dimes he was dropping. And I loved his answer about formative experiences. I thought I rolled my eyes a little bit when he said it because I thought it was going to be one of those like fortune cookie statements that he always has. Kind of makes us like the coffee bean, the left money on the table, the rent's due every day. No, it was a great answer about the stuff he's going through to be where he is right now. And he is becoming a really, really, really good, not just really, really, really good quarterback, because he was when he came into the NFL already. But he's becoming a really, really, really good NFL quarterback. It's special to watch what this guy's doing right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. 610-632-0975. On the other side, we will let you know when Tim McManus is going to join us, but it'll be more of your phone calls, reactions, thoughts, celebration after the Eagles move to, can you believe it, 7-0. We'll be right back after a quick break. It's Connor Thomas with your Eagles postgame coverage here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here, and you know I love betting on the NFL. And I'm always finding new player or game props. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook, in partnership with Valley Forge, is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. So what's perfect for Sunday's game? I don't know. Maybe you like Jalen Hurts against those Steelers for touchdown passes. Over, under on that. Of course, Miles Sanders rushing yardage. But maybe, just maybe, A.J. Brown goes off and you want to get his receiving yardage and the over. Same game parlay is just one of the reasons I bet with FanDuel. It's so easy to use. They always have awesome odds boosts and you get paid fast. Are you new to FanDuel? We'll get up to $1,000 in free bets if your first bet doesn't win with promo code Bob. That's promo code Bob. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My husband and I live next door to a haunted graveyard. It's a little creepy, but we manage. Just like we manage without home internet. Do I wish my mobile hotspot was faster? Yes, but I make it work. Kinda. Just like we make it work sleeping next to a 17th century burial ground.
Honey, can you move your hand?
That's not my hand.
It's mine.
Not having home internet? It's not that bad.
It is that bad. Don't settle for just mobile. Get Xfinity Home Internet and 1 gigabit of Xfinity Mobile together starting as low as $24.95 a month when you qualify for Internet Essentials. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Limited to Internet Essentials, residential customers meeting certain eligibility criteria. Taxes and fees extra. Pricing subject to change. Xfinity Internet required if no longer eligible for Internet Essentials. Regular rates apply. Reduced mobile speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Oak Hills Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED and turn back the clock in the bedroom, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever heard of it failing. This offer is worth $600, but it's free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic now to qualify for this unprecedented offer. 215-302-9999.
Hey, this is Brian, and I'm the owner of Valley Grove Construction. We are expanding our team and hiring skilled and creative carpenters. As a company that truly values its talented carpenters, we prove it with top dollar pay starting at $30 an hour, a healthy work-life balance, an aggressive 401k plan, a generous vacation package, paid holidays, and even a $100 weekly travel allowance. You heard me right. That's over $5,000 a year to help with gas and vehicle expenses. If you're interested in a variety of carpentry work like framing additions, setting kitchen cabinets, tiling bathrooms, basement remodeling, and historical restoration, then apply today at valleygroveconstruction.com and click the Join Our Team link. If you're tired of not working with great people, not doing the skilled work that you're capable of, or maybe you're self-employed and you're just tired of chasing down all of your suppliers for the materials that seem to never come in, then apply today at valleygroveconstruction.com. That's valleygroveconstruction.com and click the Join Our Team link.
Looking for a place to watch the game when our team returns to Philly tomorrow night? Join Tyrone Johnson and the Fanatic crew at Jack's Bar & Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia, the official home of 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party. First 100 fans receive a free Red October t-shirt. Enjoy $2 Miller Lights, plus plenty of food specials on your favorite game day snacks, like shrimp cocktail, chips and salsa, pretzel bites, and more. It's 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party at Jack's Bar & Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia. You must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Auto Lenders is absolutely transparent about absolutely everything, like the fact that we know everybody hates commercials. So thanks for letting us interrupt your sports talk to talk about how incredibly good our cars are because we never get them from auctions. And for thinking about how awesome your sports radio will sound in the car you're about to get. We can talk more about it when you visit our new location in Fairless Hills. Visit autolenders.com.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Hey, it's Cuz inviting you to join me, Tunis, and Charlie Manuel be in Clearwater for the spring training trip of a lifetime with, of course, Philly Sports Trips. Get your deposit in now. Reserve your seats. We're staying at the beautiful Wyndham Grand. Heated pool, private beach, center of the action. We'll have an awesome weekend. Catch the Phils versus Toronto. Have a private event with the Skip. This is the trip you can't miss. Me, Tunis, and Charlie. Go to phillysportstrip.com now. Reserve your spot with a small deposit. phillysportstrip.com. Do it now. Go Fightins.
Hey, Sixer fans, it's Matt Cord for the Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers. The Bet Parks app is fun to use. Build around on what you want right from your phone. It's easy to sign up, great customer service, and faster to win than ever before. Download the Bet Parks app today. The Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers.
See website for terms and conditions. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join 97.5 The Fanatic for another year of awesome Sixers pregame action at a restaurant or bar near you. Enjoy Corona beer specials, win great prizes, including tickets to Sixers games, and more. Visit the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com to see where we'll be next.
Hey, it's Cuz. You tailgate for the game this week? Score big, serve it style with Primo Hoagies party trays and sampler platters. Get the best tasting hoagies in the area. Save yourself the prep time. Stop into one of their over 90 locations for the best in the business. Not just a hoagie, it's a Primo.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, home of the most entertaining sports talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
just past 5 o'clock here at 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor Thomas with your Eagles post-game coverage. 5 o'clock, you know what that means. I know it's a weekend. I know they technically don't do it at bars, but happy hour. And every hour right now is happy hour if you are a fan of the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, the 7-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Tim McManus will join us coming up in 10 minutes. Great Tim McManus covers the Eagles for ESPN, writes good work for ESPN.com. We've got plenty of questions for him on what was an outstanding day for Jalen Hurts, an outstanding day for A.J. Brown, and just an overall another solid performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. We will, of course, ask him about everything going on with the Jordan Davis situation and the ankle injury to see what information we can glean there. So plenty from Tim coming up in just 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. 610-632-0975. Also taking your reactions as well to what was just, I mean, how many more times can we come on these airwaves and say, oh, well, an outstanding performance by the Philadelphia Eagles before it's just, oh, no, that was an expected performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we're there. I think we've been there for a little bit, honestly. And we see special things every week that we may not expect. Like, we all expected a win this week. We all expected a sizable margin of victory. But I don't think anyone out there was saying, well, yeah, Jalen Hurts is going to throw for a career-high 4 touchdown passes. He's going to sit in the fourth quarter, and A.J. Brown's going to have 3 of them in the first half. All of them, like him being double covered. And he's going to do a nice point celebration to get some flag. Like, that's the fun thing about a football team this good. It may feel a little bit to be repetitive. Like, okay, well, we know they're good. We're just going to watch them be good every week. But the fun stuff is who's going to be the guy, who's going to be the Batman, to talk about the Eagles wide receivers, who's going to be the Batman that carries everything that game. How's Jalen Hurts going to look? How's Jonathan Gannon's defense going to look? By the way, really good work against Kenny Pickett. 2 turnovers. Wish they had more interceptions because I do feel like there were a couple more balls that were catchable. One that went right through Marcus Epps' hands on an earlier play in the game, but an interception by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I believe his 3rd of the year because he had 2 in a game earlier this season. And then you have the fumble caused by Javon Hargrave. It was recovered by the Philadelphia Eagles, Kenny Pickett. Believe it or not, I'm not sure if everyone out there is aware of this. Smaller than usual hands. People don't really talk about that when it comes to Kenny Pickett, but the guy has tiny hands. No, of course, that point has been beaten to death. But, hey, looked like it was definitely a struggle for him today against Jonathan Gannon's defense. So a lot of really, really good things. 610-632-0975. Let's head back to the phones, and let's head across the country. We're going to talk to someone from the West Coast. Marvin in San Diego's on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Marvin?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
I actually came back for the game.
Oh, did you? So you live in San Diego, but you flew back for Eagles Steelers.
It's an addiction, right?
Of course it is, man. It's a good one to have right now, though.
Hey, I wanted to give 2 people props.
Okay.
So I think, from what I've seen, Jalen Hurts has really, really developed as a passer. If you look at those deep balls, that's something I don't think he had really last year at all. But if you're looking at where he put those touchdown passes to A.J. Brown, he put it like right in the breadbasket, right where the defender couldn't get it, right on the money. Super, super proud of him. There's a lot of props. Another guy I wanted to give props to is our offensive coordinator, Shane. I mean, man, he just has this rhythm, and he calls the right plays for Jalen at the right time. And I think this offense is really rolling. They're tough to stop. I don't know, I'm looking at defenses around the league. I don't know who can stop us. And then I'll give you one final question and then kind of hear your thoughts on it. But through the first half of the season, is Jalen Hurts the MVP?
Man, it's a great question, Marvin, and he's certainly in the conversation. I'll tell you what does kind of hurt him, right? The lack of passing touchdowns to this point because he didn't have many. Now, we know he's getting the job done. And I'm not nitpicking at him. I'm talking about what voters for the MVP would see, like compared to a Patrick Mahomes, compared to a Josh Allen. They're a little bit more flashy in the way that they do it as a passer. So I don't know if he's fully got that locked up, but that would not be a bad wager right now. And for my money, it is a dead heat between the 3 of them for what you're seeing for the MVP this year. So he's certainly close.
Yeah, and then our OC is just calling the right plays at the right time. I mean, he's throwing wrinkles in that really tricks defenses. It looks great.
Yeah, he really is, Marvin. I appreciate the call, man. You have a safe trip back to San Diego when you make your flight back. Awesome game to make the full cross-country flight for. So that's great. If you were at the game today, too, we'd love to hear from you. 610-632-0975. You don't have to have flown from San Diego to be there like Marvin, but if you're a diehard like that, too, of course, we always welcome your calls. Now, Marvin brings up a good point, something that I had down in my notes from the game that I wanted to discuss, and he brought up the Shane Steichen play calling. As many questions as we've had about Jonathan Gannon as the defensive coordinator, I feel like Shane Steichen has flown under the radar at points because Nick Sirianni is an offensive-minded guy. Originally, he was calling plays before he handed that responsibility over. And there have been moments where, well, we discuss it in generalities, right? Why is the offense not scoring in the second half? Why is the offense having trouble putting together a complete game? And it never really feels like we point fully towards Shane Steichen. And for the times that he struggled, there were moments today where he drew up some incredible plays, especially in big-time clutch situations, 3rd and short, 4th and short. The one play where they ran the play action where Jalen Hurts kind of almost booted one way and turned around and had Dallas Goedert just wide open after doing a little chip block and running out into the flats. That play was sexy. That was hot. That is the supermodel of offensive plays. Like, that play should be on the runway at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I can't get enough of beautifully schemed up plays like that. That, of course, you've got to have them executed to perfection by the players. Great job by Dallas Goedert selling the run blocking to start. Great job by Jalen Hurts selling it in the opposite direction, but just beautiful. And they had another one where a defensive back, it might have been Minkah Fitzpatrick, it might have been one of the corners, just tried to jump a route to Dallas Goedert, and Jalen Hurts snuck it in there. A great catch by Dallas Goedert, shoestrings almost, and another one of those 3rd and short situations. It's just the coming together of this football team. As much as we say they're really, really good, there's also things like that. And we talked about A.J. Brown being special and not knowing who's going to be the guy that carries this team week in and week out, but knowing that someone's going to do it. Well, there's other things that we might not have seen earlier in the season that continue to be improved upon. And the play calling today, as our last caller Marvin brought up, was certainly one of those things that I thought stood out to me when it came to the game plan and why the Philadelphia Eagles were able to win so handedly over the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Now, I'll do this because I know I've got people listening out there that are kind of saying it. Maybe they're not Eagles fans. Maybe they're just folks who like to hate listen because their team's not as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know the level of competition it was today. That does not change the fact that A.J. Brown is uncoverable. It does not change the fact that Jalen Hurts was dropping balls in a bucket from 40 yards away. Like, I get who you're playing against on the NFL scheme, but those are still really talented players. A really good coach in Mike Tomlin. And while they're not a good team yet, it's a win at the NFL level and moves the Eagles to 7-0. 610-632-0975. We will jump back to the phones in a little bit. But first, let's go to the Comcast Business Hotline where Tim McManus is joining us to talk about the Eagles' 7-0 start. Tim, how you doing today?
Connor, it's all good, man. What's going on?
Man, everything's going on. We've got an incredible receiver, a quarterback who's blooming right before our eyes and getting better every week, if that's even possible, and a 7-0 football team. So things are all good right now, Tim.
Yeah, and the first thing that's coming to my mind is that it's a well-coached football team. If you look at some of the clips from Nick Sirianni's messaging this week, it was all about, listen, these are the pitfalls of coming off of a bye week, especially when you're a good team. And he rattled off all of these recent teams that started off hot, then coming off their bye, they got smoked by lesser squads. And so the messaging was there to make sure that, they kept on their P's and Q's this week, didn't get full of themselves and knock the rust off pretty quickly. And also I thought that they had a really good game plan against these Steelers. Talking to Jason Kelsey at the locker room, he was saying that, they knew that this was a heavy pressure team that they were facing, especially on first and second downs. And they thought that if they took care of business up front, there'd be some shot plays down the field that they could take advantage of. And so, they had the scheme well designed. They had the players kind of on top of their games, even coming off of that bye. And, the result is another convincing win and a 7-0 record.
It absolutely is. Now, of course, we got to start with A.J. Brown and that connection. We already knew that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are proclaimed best friends. We knew the relationship that those guys have. It seems to me, though, and I want to see your thoughts on this, because clearly he was dominant. There's nothing to explain there. We saw it with our eyes. But something about Jalen Hurts throwing that first ball up, the first deep ball, that was kind of a 50-50 ball that A.J. Brown made look a lot easier. It almost felt like that gave him confidence to go back to him again and again. Is this kind of a relationship where that early success in games is going to lead to Jalen Hurts just targeting A.J. Brown a lot in days where they have that going? Because that's what it looked like today.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we all know that they have a relationship that predates their time in Philadelphia. They call each other best friends. They worked kind of relentlessly during the offseason to make sure they were getting on the same page. And I think that we continue to see the fruits of that. It was kind of surprising to see that Brown had not eclipsed the 100-yard mark since week 1 against Detroit. That was a 5-game stretch, the second longest of his career. It was almost like he was due, right? And sure enough, he erupted in this game. And when he was talking at the podium, he said that first touchdown pass, actually, he was surprised to get it. He wasn't the intended target initially for that concept. He was supposed to be a clear out, but Hurts, saw him and decided to go into his direction. And then, to your point, that worked very well. Thank you very much. And then they continued to go that route for the rest of the game. I mean, it makes a huge difference, clearly, for, an ascending quarterback to have a top-flight wide receiver at his disposal. When you combine that with other good weapons, Dallas Goedert, with Miles Sanders in the backfield, Devontae Smith, and, Zach Pascal making an appearance today with a big splash play, and that offensive line, you have all those things cooking, and it's going to be really good for your quarterback. And, we're clearly seeing that right now.
We certainly are. Now, Tim, we've talked a little bit already on the postgame show about the play calling, and I know you just mentioned that A.J. Brown said in his postgame media availability he wasn't the intended target on that. Well, he was when Jalen Hurts threw it, but he wasn't supposed to get the ball on that first touchdown pass. We already lauded Shane Steichen on some of the plays he put out there today and some of the offensive scheme. But we know Nick Sirianni is also an offensive-minded coach, even though he doesn't call the plays on game day. And we know that Jalen Hurts has gotten a lot more leash to call audibles, and we've already seen that pay off in big spots this year. The play calling's been really good. Who do you attribute that most to? Steichen, Sirianni, Hurts?
So the play calling is Steichen. If we're talking just about that specifically, the sequence of plays being called, then Shane Steichen deserves, the bulk of the credit for that. In terms of the offensive design, Sirianni has his fingerprints all over that, and so he's very much involved during the course of the week. Of course, we know Jeff Stoutland's the offensive run game coordinator, and Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach, has a say in it. Jalen Hurts clearly is going to have a say about what he likes and what he doesn't, and so there's a lot of hands in there. Let's point out another play, and I would say that the one to Zach Pascal. I think it's a good example of the way that the Eagles use their self-scouting during the bye week to come up with an explosive play, where Dallas Goedert has been, a target of tight end screens, pretty consistently throughout the first 6 weeks of the season. They show it a little bit in the beginning of the game, and then they go back to what looks like another one. They have the Pittsburgh defenders jump it. They have two of the guys jump it, which leaves Pascal wide open, streaking down the left side of the field. Touchdown. And so, there is a lot of offensive brain power that's going on right now. I think that we're starting to recognize that this is a very potent staff, kind of from top to bottom, something that maybe when we look back in hindsight was a luxury for this team to have. And the bye week really generated, some even more impressive things coming from that offensive side of the ball.
Yes, it certainly did. And we're talking to Tim McManus, who covers the Eagles for ESPN, does a great job and is always gracious with his time to join us following every Eagles game. Now, Tim, we'll ask about the bad news coming out of the game, the Jordan Davis injury. course, carted off the field. Didn't see him in the second half at all. Seems to be on the more serious side, at least from initial reports. Do you have any more information for us on what's going on with Jordan Davis and that ankle?
So Davis was spotted in a walking boot in the locker room after the game and also on crutches. I mean, we can put this together. There's no official word of how severe the ankle injury is, but when he was unable to walk off under his own power, and then when he has to get carted off the field from the medical tent a few moments later, and then is in a walking boot and on crutches, I mean, this is not going to be a short-term injury. How long? Does it knock him out to a point where he has to go on IR? Is it a season ender? I mean, all of those questions are still unanswered, and there'll be some follow-up tests to figure out exactly what the severity of this ankle injury is. But I think they're obviously going to be planning not having Jordan Davis in the lineup for the short term, and that is significant. He's been playing 20 plus snaps on average. He's been getting more and more, including this week was like the most he started getting into some poor man looks. The plan was to get him more and more involved. I think it would have been good for them to take some of the snaps off of Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox to make sure that they're fresh for kind of the home stretch. And so this is a big blow. We have to see exactly how significant that injury is, but when you lose a first-round talent in the middle of your defense, that's going to be felt to some degree.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and that's bad news when it comes to the Jordan Davis situation, but appreciate you having that for us. And already on your Twitter account, I see you posted a picture from inside the locker room about 40 minutes ago. The guys on stationary bikes, some of the players, looks like Jordan Mailata's on there, a couple offensive linemen, because recovery starts now, is what you quoted a trainer as saying. It's a short week going into Houston Thursday night. And I know that, of course, they got Jalen Hurts off the field, most of the starters off the field there for the fourth quarter, or at least the end of the fourth quarter from like the 10-minute mark on. Do you think that was more a product of the lead that they gave those guys some time and gave Gardner Minshew those snaps? Or was it a combination of like, you have the lead and also let's get these guys some rest before this short week in Houston?
It probably had a little bit to do with both. Credit to Pat Egan, who asked me in the pregame show, like, if it's a huge leader, they're going to pull some of their guys. I'm like, they're not even thinking about that. And maybe this will end up being a close game. And but sure enough, that came to fruition. So kudos to him. And I would say that, you probably are weighing both of those things, getting the younger guys experience, getting Minshew some snaps, preventing injury when the game is well in hand. And then there's a Thursday game that's on deck. And Connor, I'd never seen anything like the scene that was in the locker room post game, where all those exercise bikes are out. And not only that, but there was like massage tables that were spread across the locker room. There was even one in like the corridor as we were walking into it, of guys making sure that they get their recovery started in earnest with that short turnaround. And it's very difficult. I mean, the Texans are no juggernaut. We know that, but it's not an easy task to go to play on the road for a Thursday night game. It's a tough turnaround on anybody. So they're making sure that they got to jump on it, and they have to make sure that they maintain the same type of laser focus that they've had over the first handful of weeks to make sure that they don't get upset on the road here.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough task, even for a team going as well as the Eagles are going right now. And not only do the players and the coaches have a short week, but we know you do too. So appreciate your time today, Tim. Let you get your exercise bike in, whatever you got to do to get ready for the trip to Houston. But thank you, as always, for the time, Tim. Follow Tim's work on ESPN. ESPN.com does great work for the Eagles.
Appreciate you, Connor. Talk to you soon.
I will talk to you soon, Tim. Have a good one. That's Tim McManus. The foremost authority on all things a stability bike, exercise bike, whatever you call them, the stationary bike, and, of course, our Philadelphia Eagles. Great work by Tim, as always. A little bit unfortunate with the Jordan Davis reports, but we kind of had that feeling once he got carted off that was going to be a significant injury. But everything else right now in Eagles land sounds good, and we're already eyes on the Houston Texans. 7-0. Well, hey, we want to go 8-0. Want to go 9-0. And more importantly, you want to go 1-0 this week, and apparently this week has already started. 610-632-0975. Now, that's all for the frills, the bells and whistles of postgame. Your reactions the rest of the way. We heard from Nick Sirianni. We heard from Jalen Hurts. We may hear a little bit from A.J. Brown a little bit later. May play some cuts from him a little later in the postgame show. And we just heard from Tim McManus, but we got everything taken care of there and squared away. 610-632-0975. We will head back to the phones for more of your reaction on the other side. It's Connor Thomas and Eagles postgame, 7-0 team. No better place to listen to it than here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Oh, and let me tell you about TickPick again, because how great would it be to have tickets for any of the next 3 games at Citizens Bank Park? The Phillies, I don't know if you know this or not. The Phillies are in the World Series, and here's a great way to buy tickets for their 3 home World Series games while saving all those exorbitant fees. What you want to do is go to tickpick.com now. That's TickPick. TickPick's the original. They're the OG. No-fee ticket site that guarantees the best prices on these home game tickets. You've seen the prices. Come on. This is Philly. It's hard to get these tickets, and when you do, it costs money. And since they don't charge any service fees over at TickPick, as of this morning, the get-in price for a pair of tickets to the park on TickPick was by far cheaper than any other ticket marketplace. It's the best place to go. And we'll even cut you a deal, right? You can save an extra $50 if you use code FANATIC to get to any of the next 3 home games. Don't believe it? Just be sure to compare TickPick's prices with a competing site at checkout. That'll show you just how much money you're saving. Because that's when those sites, they all put on the ridiculous sneaky service fees and you click this button fee and we click that button fee and carrier pigeon fee. It's ridiculous. Don't deal with that. You don't want to miss these home games because of those fees or the prices or any reason. They're going to make memories and stories that you'll tell for the rest of your life. So download the TickPick app or visit tickpick.com now for the easiest way to save money on these tickets. And don't forget to use code FANATIC. It'll get you $50 off. That's tickpick.com.
Check out the Anthony Gargano Show live from Rally House, 60 Town Center Drive in Collegeville. Monday from 10 to 2, the Cuz and the Tunis will have Rally House gift cards to give away on site. Plus, grab your series-bound gear while you're there. Rally House is the premier destination to shop Phillies gear this postseason. This Monday from 10 to 2 with the Cuz at Rally House in Collegeville. Your city, your house. Rally House.
Hey, it's Jen Scordo. I love betting on the NFL. I'm always finding new player or game props. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. Perfect for Sunday's game. Our own Philadelphia team will welcome the Pittsburgh Steelers to town in Week 8. This could be a tough one coming off the bye, or Philadelphia could come out and stomp the Steelers. I do like them to win. I also like, as I always do, a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. I also like Dallas Goedert to score first. Build that as your same-game parlay for Week 8. Same-game parlay is just one of the reasons that I bet with FanDuel. It's so easy to use. They always have awesome odds boosts, and you get paid really fast. If you're new to FanDuel, get up to $1,000 in free bets if your first bet doesn't win with my promo code SCORDO. That's my last name. That's promo code SCORDO. And make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus, the President PA, first online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, to become the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and creators, we're going to need some things.
Like a high-speed internet connection that can turn my ideas into reality.
Like the skills to become the world's most powerful coder.
Like the tools to start my sustainable shoe business.
You just heard some of the millions of students Comcast is supporting through Project Up, our comprehensive initiative and $1 billion commitment to open doors for the next generation so they can build a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at comcast.com/projectup.
Hello, my 4 for 4 fans. November tastes like Miller time in Philadelphia. Join me, Anthony Gargano, and the Tunis Tuesday, November 1st, for a special live broadcast at Tonelli's Pizza Pub in Horsham from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., presented by Miller Lite. Come get pumped up with us before Game 4. Bring your friends and family. Order their world-famous Tonelli's pizza, wings, cheesesteaks, hoagies. Get Miller Lite 97-cent drafts. It's going to be a blast. For details, visit the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Was the MVP. Craig was proposing to his girlfriend and needed the perfect ring, so he asked her friends for some advice.
Get yourself to Helzberg.
Yep, Craig went to Helzberg Diamonds. He learned that Helzberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal and find the perfect ring.
Wow, it's perfect. Oh, yeah.
MVP, most valuable proposer. Be like Craig. Find the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg Diamonds near you or at Helzberg.com.
Bet Rivers Casino app has so many slots, your head will spin. There's the classics like 88 Fortunes and Jinji Baoshi, and new favorites like Dancing Drum Explosion and Hurricane Horse Coin Combo. Plus, right now, when you make a first-time deposit of $50 using code CASINO, you'll get $200 in free play. That's $200. Download the Bet Rivers Casino app today. It's a whole new game.
Presented by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Can I get the sales projections for the Springfield, Bristol, and Fairview stores?
Val's Froyo Palace is dishing out 3 more locations.
Jody, have you lined up interviews?
They need 3 new store managers before they have a meltdown.
And remember, they need at least 5 years experience.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, get double O Rewards points with your purchase. Prepare for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Pat Egan, and I recently went to the all-new Sin City Cabaret for a game day, and holy shit was I impressed. Sin City is by far the largest and best-looking club in the area. The food was great. The TV was the biggest I've ever seen in a club, but the real draw here is what's on stage. Every single girl just was hotter than the next. I was a little distracted from the game, but in the best way possible. So the next time you're looking for a party, just head to Sin City, 6130 Passyunk Avenue, and if you tell them I sent you, you get free admission before 11 p.m.
Looking for a place to watch the game when our team returns to Philly tomorrow night? Join Tyrone Johnson and the Fanatic crew at Jack's Bar and Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia, the official home of 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party. First 100 fans receive a free Red October t-shirt. Enjoy $2 Miller Lights, plus plenty of food specials on your favorite game day snacks, like shrimp cocktail, chips and salsa, pretzel bites, and more. It's 97.5 The Fanatic's Game 3 watch party at Jack's Bar and Grill at Rivers Casino, Philadelphia. You must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Philly, we're big fans of keeping you healthy. With Health Fanatics by Virtua Health, explore exclusive articles, expert insights, and so much more. Visit 975thefanatic.com/Virtua.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now. In a world of division, we bring people together. 97.5 The Fanatic.
.5:30, right on the dot. 5:30 here. 97.5 The Fanatic. It is Connor Thomas with your Eagles post-game coverage. And the Eagles, I don't know if you guys caught this. Maybe you missed the game. 7-0. If you missed the game, make sure you're sitting down for this. A.J. Brown, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Jalen Hurts, a career-high 4 passing touchdowns. Didn't even play a complete game because the Eagles were up so much with 10 minutes left in the fourth that they went ahead and got their starters some rest with a short week coming up against the Houston Texans. And I want to talk about Jalen Hurts real quick. 610-632-0975, because A lot of people are going to look at this as the A.J. Brown game, and rightfully so. He was the best player on the field. That being said, the Jalen Hurts growth that we've seen this year has been incredible. And I'll tell you what, there have been moments, there have absolutely been moments where I have been ripped by callers and tweeters and folks on the YouTube. By the way, we are on YouTube today. Shout out to our YouTube crowd. You can check that out on 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube page. But there have been moments where I've been ripped because I've been critical of Jalen Hurts, almost overly so at points. And I was never one of the people who said, no, he stinks. No, he'll never be the Eagles franchise quarterback. But even thinking back to week 1, after their win over the Detroit Lions, I was talking to Tom Alvord, who has the weekend off, much deserved. He will be back with us for the next Eagles postgame show. But we were talking, and I said, listen, yeah, Jalen Hurts won the game against Detroit in week 1, but it kind of looked like Jalen Hurts from 2021, and it didn't look all that different from what we've seen in the past. And my argument was, in this league, you have to be able to compete with the Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allens, and I know he hasn't had playoff success, but Lamar Jackson, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Bradys. We know the names. We know the elite guys. Those are the guys that win Super Bowls. Those are the guys that dominate the league. Those are the guys that make their teams better than anybody else's. And Tom thought that was asking too much, and, hey, he could do it in other ways. And listen, the reason I was critical on Jalen Hurts, and still will be if he ever struggles or has any issues, is because to be a great quarterback in the NFL, you have to be in that elite category. Like, there's no other way to get your team. And there are rare occurrences, of course. We saw it with Nick Foles as a backup winning the Super Bowl for the Eagles back in 2017, 2018. But normally, 9 times out of 10, it's those elite guys that win championships. Jalen Hurts is turning into that guy before our eyes. And the fact that he's had this growth is nothing that I ever really doubted he was capable of, right? I think if you doubted that Jalen Hurts was capable of being this level of a quarterback, it was short-sighted. Was it probable that he turned into this guy? I think that would have been fair to say no to after last season. And yet, he's gone ahead and proven what he's done since he was at Alabama and Oklahoma, and originally drafted by the Eagles as the backup to Carson Wentz, and then taking over the starting spot, and then becoming a playoff quarterback last year, and now becoming an MVP candidate quarterback through 8 weeks so far this season. That man works his tail off. He's level-headed. He's got great intangibles, and maybe more important than any of the intangibles that we know he has, the leadership and the level-headedness, the calm demeanor, the focus. He's just got a work ethic that's putting him in position to be this team's quarterback for a long time. We've seen everything we could have wanted to see through 8 weeks from Jalen Hurts and more so far this season. And the fact that some people were very critical of him in the past, and still might be, I think stems from the understanding, unless you're just being a Jalen Hurts hater, which there are fewer and fewer of those as the weeks pass by. But I think for those who are making those criticisms in a rightful manner, it stemmed from just how tough it is to be an elite quarterback in the NFL and just how important it is to be in that like top 8 guys category. Well, hey, so far this year, Jalen Hurts has been that guy. And we saw what you could argue is the vintage performance of his career so far in today's contest. 610-632-0975. Let's head back to the phones and talk to Brandon in Hanover, who's next up. Brandon, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, Connor, it's so good to hear you on the post-game show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's good to hear you making the call, Brandon.
Yeah, listen, I am so glad you talked about what you talked about just a little bit, leading right into my call here, because I couldn't agree with you more. And look, when you surround somebody like this with weapons, that's one thing. And the Eagles have done that. He had some weapons around him last year, Jalen Hurts did, but nothing like these weapons. But even when you do that, the quarterback's got to be able to make those weapons come alive. And I don't care if you got Jerry Rice and Randy Moss as your receivers back in the day, or whoever. If you can't read a defense, get the ball to them, trust those receivers in double coverage, at least one receiver, then your offense pretty much going to go nowhere. And what I really liked about this particular game is just what you said a minute ago. I don't know if Jalen Hurts had any runs today. And we can be pleased. And he's still going to run some. But what I like more is the decision-making. Even the touchdown run by Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts checked down, read the defense, made the change, and they ran the football there at the 10-yard line, and Sanders scored fourth quarter. Okay, that's not a touchdown pass, but that's a great read by the quarterback.
Absolutely is, Brandon. It's absolutely, and it's a great mention by you. I really think I'm realizing it for the first time here, how little he ran today. And that's, see, I don't know, Brandon, I'll give you your time. I just want to go off on a tangent here real quick. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to see from Jalen Hurts, running less, because I think it's such a valuable part of his game. But the versatility, it's not like to be a better quarterback, the growth we need to see is he runs the ball like 1 or 2 times a game. Like, I still think he should have a healthy amount of carries for a quarterback, but I think the ability to do it from the pocket, like what we saw today, and it was probably the best instance of that we've seen so far in Jalen Hurts' career, it definitely shows growth.
And I liked, too, that this coaching staff, not that we haven't had good coaching staffs around here, but this staff appears like they are going to work their tails off, too, to set these guys up to make plays, to be creative, and that's what you want to see. It doesn't appear like these guys are going to rest on their laurels. Doesn't really matter what the record is. When some people say we're going to keep grinding, got to keep getting better, you just really feel it from this staff, from this quarterback. It's not just that they're saying it. They really feel it. They are exemplifying it. They're demonstrating it. And I think it's an incredible thing. The only thing that will derail this team is the injury bug.
Yeah.
The special teams, they can get by. They're not great.
Yeah, you can survive special teams, though, Brandon. I appreciate just up against it with the call there. But, no, he was right. Injuries is the issue, and Brandon clearly on the same page with me on the Jalen Hurts conversation. And, we're kind of trying to find reasons why this team can't continue to win football games, and it's hard to do that right now. I do want to let you know this weekend's programming is brought to you by H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for qualified buyers on a new HVAC system from H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit DelcoHVAC.com for an estimate today. Now, here's what I'll say. Now, I'm going to say this, and I know there's someone sitting down in their car right now or tapping the app and turning on, or they're just logging on to the YouTube, and they're going to hear me say this, and they're going to miss that whole open to this segment about the growth that Jalen Hurts has shown and the justification for why you can be critical of him at points where some people think it's not fair because of the category he has to be in to be considered like an elite quarterback in the NFL. Here's what I will say. The next step in the progression for Jalen Hurts, there's still a couple plays that he left on the table today because he didn't climb the pocket. I still think the pocket presence could be better. There was one where he dropped back out of the pocket and led to a sack at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And this is very, very much nitpicking. I think Jalen Hurts had his best pocket game of his career today against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's something that I want to see him do a little bit better job of. But, man, the lack of running attempts today by Jalen Hurts, it shows you that the Eagles felt they had a clear plan of attack against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He executed it you're never going to execute it to perfection, but to an elite level, and took care of business. So a great performance, a vintage performance by Jalen Hurts that was as good as we've seen him. And, of course, A.J. Brown, incredible today. Dallas Goedert, some big plays. Miles Sanders scores again for the Philadelphia Eagles, having himself a huge contract year. A lot of great stuff out of the boys in Midnight Green today. 610-632-0975. Now, Sean in media is next up on the phones, and he has an apology I think he needs to issue. Sean, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor, thanks for taking my call. I'll tell you what, man, my liver can't take too much more of this winning in this city.
You know what? Listen, we'll switch to water at some point because I feel you, but I enjoy the winning still.
It's great. I mean, I don't want to go back to the way it used to be, but so I'm calling to eat some crow right now. I was that guy for the last year, just like many people were, over just wondering. I never questioned his work ethic, never questioned his athleticism, but I just questioned that, deep ball throw. And I think a lot of it was because we wanted Carson Wentz to be that guy. You wanted him to be like the Josh Allen, stand in the pocket, stand tall, and just fire a bullet down the field. And so I was a little butthurt over that. And so I just questioned him not being able to do that. But after today, you can't not say, he throws a catchable ball. And he did a lot of good things, and he seems like he gets better every week. And it seems like the scheme's working. It seems like the players are definitely buying into him. You hear him talk. I mean, you got to buy in at this point.
How could you not be bought in to a guy like Jalen Hurts right now?
Well, because my thing was also, I would say, well, maybe it's a product of the league not being that good this year, and the league isn't that good this year.
They're not. It certainly is not.
Out Rodgers, like all these guys, like nothing's the way it used to be. You had the perennial teams that were always good. The Steelers were always good, for crying out loud. But that's just kind of like revisionist history, where you almost want him to be bad because you don't want him to be good. You know what I mean? It's one of those weird things that I was kind of toiling with. But at this point, and I know he hears all the criticism. I know he gets that, but he still puts his head down. He goes to work, and he's showing up. And so you really can't be anything but excited for it. And we look really, really good right now. So
they do, Sean. They really do. And first off, I want credit to you because there's a lot of people out there. There are thousands of people like you, Sean, who felt that way about Jalen Hurts, who will not call in, who will not tweet in, who will not be on the YouTube. Who will say, hey, it's on me. I doubted him. He's proving me wrong. So credit to you on that.
No. I've just been ticket holder forever. I didn't know what was going on. But I mean, you got to credit the whole organization.
Yeah.
What Howie Roseman does and just everything. And they're having just a blast down there. And it's so nice to see a team come together, and I'm talking about all sports, let it be, soccer, football, baseball, a team come together and just rally around each other and just believe in what's going on. And Nick Sirianni, I mean, he bothers everybody the way he talks and goes on, but whatever he's doing is working. So you can't not buy in. You have to at this point.
You're absolutely right, Sean, man. I appreciate the call. You enjoyed the rest of your Sunday. Again, credit to Sean for, I say it all the time, like, hey, call in if you have an apology to issue to Jalen Hurts, like we've said that multiple times this year, to Nick Sirianni, to whoever it may be. And you rarely, if ever, actually hear somebody do that. I know there's plenty of people out there that are realizing how wrong they were about Jalen Hurts, or if you're like me, realizing even if it was like a slight wrong or a justified wrong, whereas, he's good, but where's his ceiling? Is he truly elite? Because good doesn't really cut it as a quarterback in the NFL. Like, good gives you Kirk Cousins. We don't want Kirk Cousins. Like, we want elite, and that's how you win ball games. But credit to anyone who's like Sean, and credit to him specifically for making that call in and apologizing. Now, here's what I'll say, and I will defend his original position on Jalen Hurts and the concerns he had. This is 1 week. And it's 1 week among, now 8 weeks, 7 games, because you've already had the bye week. We're not going the other way. We're not saying 100%, okay, well now you can't ever doubt Jalen Hurts again, or you can't ever question him or anything. He's proven that he's this guy and will be. He's played an amazing 7 games. We have no reason to doubt him right now. Again, it goes back to the conversation about the team, though. We have the ability, we have the luxury now to nitpick this team and be overly critical, because the expectations for this team are now a deep playoff run, potentially a Super Bowl appearance, potentially a Super Bowl victory. But the expectations are playoff-level success. To do that, you have to be really good. Even in a year where it seems the entirety of the NFL, there's not that many good teams out there. So Jalen Hurts has been incredible this year. He's an MVP candidate. Total credit to him. I don't want to see, though, if he has a rough game, you still have the right to critique him when he struggles. We haven't really seen it this year, and of course they're undefeated. But just like it was wrong to absolutely just write in stone that Jalen Hurts was not the franchise quarterback from what some people saw last year, it's wrong to 100% write in stone the other way through 7 games. Now, enjoy it week by week. Take each one as in a vacuum, the performance. And then when the season is over, or when we get to a point like a little bit deeper into the season, we can look at this in entirety as the resume Jalen Hurts has put together this year. But looking in the vacuum at this week, man, he looks like a damn elite quarterback, and I absolutely love it. 610-632-0975 is how you jump in. Now, I want to talk real quick about something that Sean brought up about the league not being all that good. And he mentioned revisionist history a little bit. I want to think back to 2017, 2018. Because we look at things now and we're like, man, things are changing. Rodgers kind of stinks now in Green Bay. Or maybe that team just stinks around him. Tom Brady is a train wreck in front of the eyes of the football viewing public. And on the field we're talking about. But off the field, it has not been great for him as well this season. Of course, very well publicized, everything going on there. There's opportunity around the NFC, around the AFC, around the NFL in general. There might be 5 good teams. But you think back to 2017, 2018, that run that the Eagles went on. That Falcons team, yeah, we thought Matt Ryan because he was coming off the MVP season, and I know they blew that 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, but it was we thought a lot higher of Matt Ryan than what we do right now. No longer playing for the Indianapolis Colts, benched in favor of rookie Sam Erlinger. Yeah, okay, maybe that Falcons team wasn't all that good. And I'm not, before anyone gets mad at me, I'm not trying to diminish the accomplishment of what that Eagles team did in 2017, 2018. They were incredible. They deserved every bit of that Super Bowl. And what they had to do to beat a Patriots team that was very good was nothing short of superhuman by Nick Foles, Doug Peterson, Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, Malcolm Jenkins. Everyone that was on that team did an incredible job. But that Falcons team, looking back, were they all that good? And then you look at the Minnesota Vikings team that was quarterbacked by Case Keenum that got their show run in the NFC Championship game at the Link. Of course, we all remember that game. You played Case Keenum in the NFC Championship game, and the AFC Championship game was Blake Bortles, who is now retired from football. And I get Tom Brady is good, but man, there have been years in the past where when the league isn't that good, there are opportunities, and that just shows you what it can lead to. I don't care if the league's not all that good. There's an argument to be made, and I just started to make it, and I'm not going to go too in-depth in it because 2017 is basically ancient history when it comes to how the sports scene operates in Philadelphia. Very much a what have you done for me lately town, and I think rightfully so, and I think that's what makes us a really, really good fan base. But there's an argument to be made that the league wasn't all that good in 2017. You remember Rodgers goes down with a season-ending injury too. He was really good. That opens everything up for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was just one of those weird years where there was opportunity. I don't think any of us, when we were on Broad Street that day, when they had the parade that Thursday, that brisk Thursday where we watched Doug Peterson and Nick Foles carry the Lombardi Trophy down. Well, not they were riding a bus, but you know, when Jason Kelce made that speech, we weren't thinking, man, well, the league wasn't all that good this year. Who cares if the league isn't all that good? It's very much an opportunity for the Eagles, and they are looking like a really, really good football team right now. For my money, the best in the world. Let's go back to the phones, and let's talk to Mitch in East Windsor, who's been holding on patiently. Mitch, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
How's it going? Thanks for taking my call, brother.
Thanks for making it, man. Appreciate it.
Got a pretty good balanced attack. Sanders, you didn't have to overwork him. I was one of those guys that wasn't a big Hurts fan, but I guess he's fooled me, or he's a turn leaf for me. He's a really good quarterback. I think he's doing better than the quarterbacks that he was backing up in college as of now. And yeah, the line, 6 sacks. Quinn, sorry about Davis. And one more thing on that trade for Gwen, the rich get richer. You know, he has a chance to play 18 games. He came from the Bears, who haven't had their bye yet. Comes this week after the Eagles bye, he can actually play 18 games. Not that he's going to set any records for sacks and what. He had a good year last year. But he's a pretty good borderline Hall of Famer looking at his numbers. I don't know how he'll do it the rest of the season. 31, 32?
You're talking about Quinn? I don't know if he's a borderline
Quinn.
Hall of Famer, but a really, really good season last year in the 18.5 sack season. Didn't see much of him today because obviously when you have guys jump in the middle of a week or ahead of a game, you normally don't see too much of them because they're adjusting to the scheme.
I mean, it's just rushing the quarterback and stopping the run. There's two things you have to abide by, right?
Right. There's not that much, but still, you want to be careful with them. And also, it's a stressful week for guys when they have to switch cities, a lot of stuff going on. The first couple of days with a new team is an adjustment. So I imagine we're going to see more from Robert Quinn the rest of the season, especially now that Jordan Davis is going to miss some time.
I hate to see rookies, wait their turn or get hurt. It's like the red shirt. I mean, that's college stuff now. I mean, you draft in the first round, especially, you are getting to see play, but the injury bug is just going around all these sports, especially the top three. Thanks for taking my call. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate you making the call, man. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You enjoy a big week coming up. We got 3 more days in between now and another game day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I believe there's some baseball games going on those days. If you're interested in that as well. The World Series will be taking place in Philadelphia for the first time since 2009. We got games 3, 4, and 5. By the way, I'll be out doing a little watch party with Tyrone Johnson at Rivers Casino tomorrow. So if you want to come watch game, game 3? Yeah, losing track of all these games with the weekend and all the winning. You can go ahead and say what's up to us on that front. But hey, a quick turnaround for Eagles Week 9, Game 8, which is going to mess me up now. It's like when the month changes. The first couple weeks after the bye, it's like, what week is it again? Because you look at the record and. We'll get it. We'll figure it out. But if our biggest problem is we can't remember what week it is because the Eagles are winning so much, I think we're in a pretty good spot with this team. 610-632-0975. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of your reactions. We're going to hear a little bit from A.J. Brown talking after his big day. Bunch of stuff still to come here on Eagles postgame coverage. It's Connor Thomas. We'll be right back here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, it's Jen Scordo. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Got to use my promo code SCORDO. FanDuel has some great pre-built same-game parlays for you if you're feeling a bit lazy or you just can't decide on what bet to make. They also offer great odds boosts and some specials too, so make sure you check them all out. And when you hit a same-game parlay, it feels so good and you get paid super fast. There's also live betting. You can get updated odds on games that have already started. And like I said, most importantly, you get paid super fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up with my promo code SCORDO for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code SCORDO. And make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fall is upon us, so it's that time of year again to consider replacing your old, drafty windows and doors before another cold winter season rolls in. Hi, it's Ricky Bowe, and when I need a company to help me with these home projects, I turn to the experts, my good friends at Guida Door and Window. Act now and receive 20% off all windows and doors. Plus, Guida will allow you to start your project today with no money out of pocket and take up to 3 years to pay it off, interest-free, once the job is expertly installed. So you'll be able to start enjoying all the benefits of new, highly energy-efficient windows and doors, including an increased comfort level of your home and lowered monthly energy bills, while taking advantage of 20% savings and having the luxury of paying off your project with 0% interest-free for up to 36 months. But you must act now. This offer is for a limited time only. Restrictions apply. For full details, call Guida today to schedule a free, no-obligation in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's GoGuida.com.
My husband and I live next door to a haunted graveyard. It's a little creepy, but we manage. Just like we manage without home internet. Do I wish my mobile hotspot was faster? Yes, but I make it work. Kinda. Just like we make it work sleeping next to a 17th century burial ground.
Honey, can you move your hand?
That's not my hand.
It's mine.
Not having home internet? It's not that bad.
It
is that bad. Don't settle for just mobile. Get Xfinity Home Internet and 1 gigabit of Xfinity Mobile together starting as low as $24.95 a month when you qualify for Internet Essentials. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Limited to Internet Essentials, residential customers meeting certain eligibility criteria. Taxes and fees extra. Pricing subject to change. Xfinity Internet required if no longer eligible for Internet Essentials. Regular rates apply. Reduced mobile speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage.
This is Staples.
So, rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
Mm-hmm. We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking, what will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details.
Hello, my 4 for 4 fans. November tastes like Miller time in Philadelphia. Join me, Anthony Gargano, and the Tunis Tuesday, November 1st, for a special live broadcast at Tonelli's Pizza Pub in Horsham from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., presented by Miller Lite. Come get pumped up with us before Game 4. Bring your friends and family. Order their world-famous Tonelli's pizza, wings, cheesesteaks, hoagies. Get Miller Lite 97-cent drafts. It's going to be a blast. For details, visit the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com.
The life of a Philly sports fan is a wild ride. Some years we fly high. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game. Shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on SEPTA. On the way to the tailgate, coin toss, and kickoff, the Broad Street line takes us from home to home field, and this season home free thanks to Bet Parks. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home. Sponsored by Bet Parks at iSEPTAPhilly.com.
Auto Lenders is absolutely transparent about absolutely everything, like the fact that we know everybody hates commercials. So thanks for letting us interrupt your sports talk to talk about how incredibly good our cars are because we never get them from auctions. And for thinking about how awesome your sports radio will sound in the car you're about to get. We can talk more about it when you visit our new location in Fairless Hills. Visit Autolenders.com.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Hey, Nissan, how do you get to the top?
Calculating. Proceed to 1959. Take a hard left in East Africa at the 71 Safari Rally. Veer right for 19 off-road championships in the Baja Desert. Proceed towards Moab. Take the trail to Hell's Revenge. Include steep incline. Continue for the next 1,000,000 miles.
Where to first again?
60 years, millions of miles, and the capability to take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Hey, Sixer fans, it's Matt Cord for the Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers. The Bet Parks app is fun to use. Build around on what you want right from your phone. It's easy to sign up, great customer service, and faster to win than ever before. Download the Bet Parks app today. The Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers.
See website for terms and conditions. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's the 2-minute warning. In this case, I don't think 2 minutes can change anything. Not true. Every 2 minutes is another chance to play Cash Pop or Quick Draw from the New Jersey Lottery. But these guys have no shot of winning. In Cash Pop, you just have to match one number to win. I'm talking about the players. Players can win up to $1 million in Quick Draw.
The New Jersey Lottery gives you a chance to win every 2 minutes.
They can't win this game. Don't worry, there's another chance in 2 minutes.
Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all know Philly sports is big business, and we've got you covered every weekday with the Fanatic's Business of Sports reports that are powered by Pico for Business. For information on how your company can save with Pico's incentives, go to pico.com/business.
Hey, it's Cuz. You're watching the game this week with friends? Score big. Serve in style. Primo Hoagies party trays and sampler platters. You get the best tasting hoagies ever. Save yourself the prep time. Stop into one of their over 90 locations for the greatest hoagies ever. It's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, home of the most entertaining sports talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Just a little bit past 6 o'clock here, 97.5 The Fanatic. That means happy hour is technically over, but when you root for the Philadelphia Eagles, every hour is happy hour. When you root for the Philadelphia Phillies, who are in the World Series, every hour is happy hour. When you root for the Philadelphia Union, who will play in the Eastern Conference Finals today in the MLS playoffs, every hour is happy hour. When the Flyers have a great start to their season that's unexpected, every hour is happy hour. Let's not talk basketball. Let's talk football. Because the Philadelphia Eagles, they are indeed undefeated. A great win for them today and a dominant one over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not really a surprise, the result. How they got there, though, very interesting with the A.J. Brown huge day, with Jalen Hurts having, for my money, his best passing performance in his career as an NFL quarterback. Why did I say that weird there? NFL quarterback? I put like a weird space between the F and the L. You know what? It doesn't matter because the Eagles are 7-0 and everything is all right in this town when the football team is going good. Now, we have a little bit of news, and of course, this is preliminary news, so we'll get more information on this. But Ian Rappaport put a tweet out about the Jordan Davis ankle injury. I'll read it for you now. Eagles first-round defensive tackle Jordan Davis is believed to have suffered a high ankle sprain based on the initial exam. Source said, those are generally 4 to 6 week injuries, but he'll have an MRI to determine his time frame. So that's what Ian Rappaport put out about the Jordan Davis injury. If that is the case, a high ankle sprain is not good news. A high ankle sprain for a guy that's 8 feet tall, 500 pounds is certainly not good news. Of course, over-exaggerating the metrics there on Jordan Davis a little bit. But he's a large man. So that ankle, as Ray Dunn, who's on the board, as he said to me in the break when I told him about the Rappaport tweet, that ankle supports a lot of man, is what Ray said. And he's absolutely correct. But if it is indeed just a high ankle sprain, again, I say just a high ankle sprain because there are worse injuries out there, maybe a little bit of a dodged bullet because it'll either be an injured reserve stint, which would put him on the back burner for the better part of, over a month. Or it'll be, he sits out for 4 games and you can bring him back, or maybe they think they can get him back a little bit quicker. I don't know how the guy heals. He is young, but he is a big man. You avoided something season-ending is what it initially looks like, which is not the best news. Obviously, the best news is Jordan Davis is fine. He'll play against Houston on Thursday, but it's not the worst news, and that's just another thing pointing in the right direction for the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't want to have injuries, but if you can't avoid them, which you really can't in the NFL, you hope that they're ones that don't end a guy's season. You also hope they're ones that don't keep him out 4 to 6 weeks. But from what we saw with the carting off, from what we heard from Tim McManus talking to him, the hope was that he would avoid a season-ending injury. And at least by the initial exam and the report by Ian Rappaport, say that 3 times fast, the report by Ian Rappaport, it looks like a better diagnosis than what it could have been for Jordan Davis. So we'll keep you updated on that throughout the week, and we'll hear more, I'm sure, when he does his MRI or X-ray or whatever they have for him when they get their work in tomorrow. But that's the Jordan Davis report. Goes down, carted off with an ankle injury just before halftime, did not return in the game. Obviously, sounds like 4 to 6 weeks from the initial exam. So there's that. That's the only bad thing that came out of the game, though, right? Everything else was pretty much peachy keen, if I do say so myself. A.J. Brown looks like the best receiver on planet Earth right now. Is that crazy to say? Because I know Justin Jefferson's incredible. I know, Devontae Adams kind of doesn't exist anymore now that he's gone to Las Vegas. But there are guys out there that are really, really good. Stephon Diggs for Buffalo looks uncoverable. But A.J. Brown's in that category. And this is the first time that the Eagles have had one of those guys since, in all due respect to Deshaun Jackson and the incredible NFL career he's put together, still wants to play. We'll see if a team ends up taking a chance on him in the twilight of his career. But all due respect to Deshaun Jackson, who has an incredible spot in Eagles history. This is a complete wide receiver in A.J. Brown. Deshaun Jackson was what he was, a speedster that was as good at going and getting the deep ball as anybody in the history of the NFL. But there were certain limitations because of his size and the type of player that he was. A.J. Brown is just he's an all-around monster of a wide receiver. And since Terrell Owens, he's probably the best receiver to have worn midnight green. Better than Alshon Jeffrey, better than Deshaun Jackson. And there really aren't that many to state because we know the Eagles' deficiency at the wide receiver position for so long in that the early 2010s and everything there. But it's awesome. So you've got A.J. Brown, who's probably your best, I'm going to say definitely your best wide receiver since Terrell Owens. And for the first time since 2004, the Eagles are 7-0. It matches their best mark, and it's only the second time. Best mark, of course, since that 2004 season. Only the second time in franchise history that they've done that to start out a season 7-0. I don't know what more you want me to say than that. And we'll remember, of course, the last game of that 2004 season more than anything else. But let's remember what that last game was. They went to the Super Bowl that year. Pretty darn good sign for where they're at right now. And when you look at the quality of the NFC opponents they could face in the postseason, or even the rest of the way, and they'll face, of course, teams in the AFC the rest of the way, the regular season, and then hopefully they get to a point where their last game is against an AFC opponent, meaning it'll be the Super Bowl. It doesn't look, and this is, in the grand scheme of things, winning NFL games are tough. But it doesn't look like that tough of a road the rest of the way, and this looks like a really, really good team. It's an awesome time right now to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. 610-632-0975. You can jump in with your reactions to the game. We did take a call from Sean earlier who had an apology about Jalen Hurts. Mitch from East Windsor, who was our last caller, kind of said the same thing as well, that he doubted Jalen Hurts, and it's kind of hard to now, which, yeah, it absolutely is. But I do want to hear a little bit from A.J. Brown, who stole the spotlight today. Deservedly so. Don't want to forget about Jalen Hurts' performance, but he was great. And A.J. Brown had some interesting stuff to say about his own performance post-game, but maybe the most interesting was what he said about still where the Eagles' ceiling is and playing a complete game.
We wasn't perfect out there. The score may say something, but we wasn't perfect. And we know we got stuff to clean up. Like I said a couple weeks ago, this team is hungry. You know what I'm saying? Most importantly, humble. But we know it's a lot of work to be done, man. We still have not played like a complete game, and I promise you, everybody in this room gonna know when we play a complete game. You know what I'm saying? Because we believe in each other, and once we do that, the whole world will know that.
I love that. Now, we start, of course, with the cliche that we've heard from them all year, from Jalen Hurts, from Nick Sirianni, from the team, and it's clearly the messaging that they feed to each other every single week. We weren't perfect. Played a great game, left money on the table, left plays on the field, whatever the expression the individual players or coaches are going to use. And while it's an annoying mindset maybe to hear from the fans, because it's the same thing every week. It's like, we get it. We've heard this. We know. And some of it may be them trying to create their own motivation because you want to avoid what Jalen Hurts has called in the past the rat poison, which, of course, comes from his time at Alabama under Nick Saban. And you don't want to start feeling yourself all that much and fall apart. There's still work to be done, but I do love the thought process of that, and the mindset that they have there is really good. And then the second part of that quote from A.J. Brown, he went a little Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia on us. Everyone in this room is going to feel this when we play a complete game. It was a little, I have not yet begun to peak, and the whole city of Philadelphia is going to know when I do, or feel it when I do, or whatever that specific line is that Glenn Howerton, as Dennis Reynolds says in Always Sunny. Well, when a little, everyone's going to feel it when we put together a complete game. I love it. I don't think, I think the only time that we hear from them, whether or not they actually put together a complete game, will be a post Super Bowl victory. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where they're going to say, at least Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, and what they'll say to the media, that their performance was good enough for complete or any of those things. I do think they put together a pretty damn good performance today, top to bottom. But I love the intensity that A.J. Brown clearly has, the confidence that he's playing with right now, and I love what he's doing to earn himself that confidence by just demolishing the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. That's a rough day if you're wearing black and gold. Just what does that make you feel as a man to just know that like you're a really, really good defensive back. You play in the NFL. And this number 11 guy, man, we can't cover him. 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, the entire secondary. Listen, they could leave Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins and Zach Pascal and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders wide open. You play 11 guys on A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts might still throw him the ball. And right now, it'd be hard for you to convince me that he's not going to go up above all of them and make a ridiculous catch. Like it's awesome what we saw from him today. I also think, we mentioned some of those guys, it's definitely a good thing that Dallas Goedert's performance today, that Miles Sanders' performance today are afterthoughts on the stat line. That means that there was something special done by Jalen Hurts and by A.J. Brown in that combination. Miles Sanders, 9 attempts for 78 yards, which doesn't seem all that crazy, but a touchdown. We know he went like almost 2 calendar years without a touchdown, so that's a pretty good sight to see anytime he gets pay dirt there. You're looking at what Dallas Goedert did through the air, 6 receptions for 64 yards. Doesn't touch pay dirt, but I mean, you look at that for a tight end, that's a great day. You will absolutely take that, and that's something that you get from Dallas Goedert. The consistency there is really good. And then Zach Pascal as well with the 57 yards on 2 receptions, the long touchdown reception there, 34 yards. It's nice to have a performance so good by A.J. Brown that you can say, wow, we've got someone who's elite who can't be stopped. And it's also nice to see that it's not just the A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts show. There's other guys doing it as well. It's all good things. You know what? I find it funny as I go through my thought process of the game. It really feels like there's not that much to mention about the defense, which is crazy in a game that they forced 2 turnovers and only allowed 13 points and played really, really good. Like James Bradbury was incredible in coverage today. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I tweeted out that Howie Roseman should be in jail for robbery of the New Orleans Saints on multiple counts, but especially getting that trade for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I get they weren't going to pay him. They didn't have the money or they didn't want to spend to make the cap space work down there in New Orleans for the money that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was going to command, but still, letting that guy walk out of the building is crazy. Darius Slay, just another solid performance by him. You don't hear his name a lot because he's a lockdown guy. We already talked about Kaiser White. Javon Hargrave with a nice day, forcing that fumble on Kenny Pickett. Hassan Reddick setting the tone for this defense with the little switch stunt coming over the back of the defensive tackle. I'm not sure who exactly it was on the play earlier in the game, but that little wraparound to the middle stunt, clearing up the A gap and just putting Kenny Pickett on his ass early. That's a way to wake up a defense. It was just a really, really good performance. And you're going to add Robert Quinn, which I know he already played, but you're going to see him make more of an impact, I'd imagine, against the Texans. And even that's a short week, I'd imagine, where you really see him start to cook and settle in and get a higher snap count is going to be in the longer break. So that's the upside of the short week, right? Yeah, it sucks that you've got to go to Houston in 3 days to prepare to play, or I guess it would be 4 days because they'll fly on Thursday, but to get down there for that game, or no, they'll fly on Wednesday. What am I talking about? So 3 days before you have to hop a plane down there to Houston to take on the Texans, but then you get the benefit of the longer week coming up before you go ahead and you get ready for your week, what will be week 10 matchup? Week 10 matchup where you will go to or home versus Washington, and that'll be a divisional game, so you never know what's going to go on there, but you're seeing Taylor Heineke. I imagine that game against Washington, and we saw what the Eagles did to that Washington team pass rush-wise earlier in the season when they went to Washington and made Carson Wentz basically see stars. Well, that's when you're going to see the Brandon Quinn effect come in a little bit more. Like, this team is only getting better. This team is only becoming more dangerous. This team is only being more comfortable with each other. They're adding pieces. We'll see if Howie Roseman is done. I get the feeling that he is, but hey, who knows? I didn't know that Brandon Quinn was on the table, and all of a sudden he's there. We didn't know that A.J. Brown was on the table. He's certainly here. We didn't know Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was going to be a real possibility for the Eagles. He's here. Like, there's so much stuff that Howie does that comes out of nowhere, so who knows if he's done. But everything is looking up for this Philadelphia Eagles team right now. And let's try and break down real quick, a fun little exercise, where the ethos is, where the generation is, where if they're the building, if the Philadelphia Eagles are a brick house right now, because that's what they're playing like, there's the generator, the power generator, where everything builds from. Is it Nick Sirianni? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it the defense? Like, I lean towards it being the quarterback. I really do. And I know Nick Sirianni is very much in contention for Coach of the Year. To this point, I think he should win it. I mean, he's undefeated. How could he not? And we'll see how that plays out the rest of the season. But he would absolutely have that award. I know one of the callers earlier asked me, is Jalen Hurts your MVP right now? And I'm kind of wishy-washy on saying he's absolutely the MVP right now, because there is still a Patrick Mahomes out there, a Josh Allen out there. Lamar Jackson has fallen off a little bit with Baltimore, but he could still put together a really good run late in the season when he gets back settled in. So that I'm not so sure of. I feel very confident in saying that if the season ended today, Nick Sirianni would be Coach of the Year. So could it be the coach? I still just look at the quarterback. I look at his demeanor. I look at the way this team reacts to his post-game victory speech in the locker room. It's special. He's a guy that we've long said, as long as we've criticized Jalen Hurts, there's been one thing that even the biggest Jalen Hurts hater on the planet had to admit. This guy would be awesome. If he puts it together on the field, there's no holes because of the demeanor and the personality and the leadership quality. The intangibles have always been there. You've never been able to debate that. The ability, certainly questionable at times in the past. Not after a day like today, it's not. But we know what the guy is in the locker room. We know what his work ethic is. And when you put together a performance like this on the field, man, that's where I think this team makes its money. It starts with Jalen Hurts. Starts with number one. And then it feeds out to Sirianni, of course, as the head coach. A.J. Brown is probably your most explosive offensive guy, the bevy of defensive players. You know who's quiet today as we go through this kind of stream of consciousness of what was special about this football game? Because there's just so much to enjoy. T.J. Edwards. Didn't hear much from him at all today. Yeah, got a piece as Ray jumps in my ear, gets the deflection for the C.J. Gardner-Johnson interception. But he's a guy that you normally see set the tone tackling-wise for his defense. Quiet day by him outside of that deflection, and it doesn't matter. Like, you can have guys that just, like Darius Slay, we talked about. Now, cornerbacks are different than linebackers. Like, a quiet day for a linebacker is not normally a good thing. A quiet day from a cornerback normally means that they either weren't targeted because the opposing team knows how good they are, or they locked somebody down. But Darius Slay still, a quieter day. Doesn't matter. They can have days where certain guys don't do all that much, and it seems like they don't even miss a step. I'm really running out of things to be not be excited about, because we'll continue to be excited about this team as long as they keep winning. And it seems like they're going to keep winning. Spoiler alert. I don't know if they'll go undefeated, but this team is damn sure not done winning football games this year. So it's not excitement, but it's even being surprised, or being, and I mean pleasantly surprised when I talk about that. They're showing us everything right now, and we're getting to the point where it feels like when they come out and play the Houston Texans, if they hang 40 on Houston, they'll just be like, okay, well, yeah, we kind of expected it. And when Washington comes in the week after that and they beat the heck out of a division rival, kind of like, well, yeah, naturally. When they go to Indianapolis and they play that Colts team that's been struggling, that has benched their starting quarterback and has gone with a rookie under center, and they kick their teeth in, be like, well, yeah, of course. That's what this Eagles team does. It's really special what they're doing right now. And even though it's becoming almost mundane, almost ho-hum like we expect it, it's still, don't let it be lost on you how special this football team is. And we have, let's see. Well, they're 7 games in. So by my math, another 7 would make it 14. And then we're going to add another 3 on there, 10 more games, right? Not a big math guy. So carry the 1. Yeah, no, that's 10 more games on the season. We're going to have some fun football ahead. And some fun football they just put behind us today with the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 35-13 victory. By the way, a little toot of the horn. I had 34-17 was my predicted score. We had a lot of close scores, and I think on the John Kincaid show that were all right around that margin of victory there. So, again, becoming expected. But, hey, winning never gets old in this city, especially when it comes to the football team. 610-632-0975. Going to take one more break here, and then we will be back with a little wrap-up of everything that we covered on today's Eagles post-game coverage before we hand it over at 7 o'clock to Tyler Zulli and D. Lynham, who will be discussing the Eagles. I'm sure they'll talk Phillies. I'm sure they'll mention the Union with their big Eastern Conference Finals game later tonight. A lot of great stuff going on in the Philadelphia sports landscape. And, of course, today, focused on the Philadelphia Eagles and their victory. We'll have plenty more of post-game reaction, comments, stats, everything you could want from another big Eagles victory. And you can chime in at 610-632-0975. It's Connor Thomas with you, and we're back right after this on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
And, of course, you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss live reads. You don't want to miss a second of our programming on 97.5 The Fanatic. And that all pales in comparison to missing the World Series. You want to be there for those games. And how great would it be to have tickets for any of the next 3 games at Citizens Bank Park? I know I want them. I know Ray wants them. I know Haley wants them. I know Matt Menard back there wants them. Anybody in their right mind, the real Phillies fans, want tickets, and here's a great way to buy them while avoiding all those exorbitant fees that the other people use. I want you to go to my friends over at tickpick.com now. Right now. That's TICKPICK. TickPick is the original no-fee ticket site that guarantees the best prices on these home game tickets, since they don't charge any service fees. As of this morning, the get-in price for a pair of tickets to the park on TickPick was by a mile, cheaper than any other ticket marketplace. And you could save an extra $50 if you use code FANATIC to get to any of the next 3 home games. Don't believe it? Just be sure to compare TickPick's prices with a competing site at checkout, because that's when those sites all tack on their ridiculous, sneaky service fees. You don't want to miss these home games. Come on. You know how important it is. We need the bank rocking. And the real fans, not the ones that are throwing all that money at those big fees. No. They're the ones that have to figure out the deal and get down there and spend their hard-earned money the smart way. And that's with my friends over at TickPick. And when you do that, they'll make memories and stories that you'll tell for the rest of your life. So download the TickPick app or visit tickpick.com now for the easiest way to save money on these tickets. And don't forget to use code FANATIC, $50 back in your pocket. That's tickpick.com.
Check out the Anthony Gargano Show live from Rally House, 60 Town Center Drive in Collegeville. Monday from 10 to 2, the Cuz and the Tunis will have Rally House gift cards to give away on site. Plus, grab your series-bound gear while you're there. Rally House is the premier destination to shop Phillies gear this postseason. This Monday from 10 to 2 with the Cuz at Rally House in Collegeville. Your city, your house. Rally House.
Hey, it's Jen Scordo. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Got to use my promo code SCORDO. FanDuel has some great pre-built same-game parlays for you if you're feeling a bit lazy or you just can't decide on what bet to make. They also offer great odds boosts and some specials too, so make sure you check them all out. And when you hit a same-game parlay, it feels so good and you get paid super fast. There's also live betting. You can get updated odds on games that have already started. And like I said, most importantly, you get paid super fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up with my promo code SCORDO for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code SCORDO. And make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My husband and I live next door to a haunted graveyard. It's a little creepy, but we manage. Just like we manage without home internet. Do I wish my mobile hotspot was faster? Yes, but I make it work. Kinda. Just like we make it work sleeping next to a 17th century burial ground.
Honey, can you move your hand?
That's not my hand.
It's mine.
Not having home internet? It's not that bad.
It is that bad. Don't settle for just mobile. Get Xfinity Home Internet and 1 gigabit of Xfinity Mobile together starting as low as $24.95 a month when you qualify for Internet Essentials. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Limited to Internet Essentials, residential customers meeting certain eligibility criteria. Taxes and fees extra. Pricing subject to change. Xfinity Internet required if no longer eligible for Internet Essentials. Regular rates apply. Reduced mobile speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage.
Helzberg Diamonds presents the guy who was the MVP. Craig was proposing to his girlfriend and needed the perfect ring, so he asked her friends for some advice.
Get yourself to Helzberg.
Yep, Craig went to Helzberg Diamonds. He learned that Helzberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal and find the perfect ring.
Wow, it's perfect. Oh, yeah.
MVP, most valuable proposer. Be like Craig. Find the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg Diamonds near you or at Helzberg.com.
For all your printing needs this holiday, Staples has you covered.
I need custom printed holiday cards for my one-of-a-kind business.
Staples has you covered.
It's beginning to look a lot like I need custom party invites. Fast.
I need cards for everyone who gave me a hand this year without spending an arm and a leg.
Staples has you covered with personalized holiday cards and invites. And now save 40% on custom holiday cards and invitations. For everything you need printed, go to Staples, the working and learning store. In-store and online, ends 12/17. Exclusions and restrictions apply.
Want to win tickets to a Sixers game? All season long, you can find us about town with Corona, proud beer sponsor of our Philadelphia 76ers. This Friday night, join the Tunis from 6 to 8 p.m. for Sixers pregame action with prize and ticket giveaways at New Deck Tavern. New Deck has 14 TVs throughout the venue. It's a great place to watch the game with Corona Premier on special for $4.50 during all Sixers games. New Deck Tavern, 3408 Sampson Street in Philadelphia. For details, go to the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook at New Deck Tavern.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Wouldn't it be great if you put 30 to 40% of your energy costs right back into your company's bottom line at little or no cost to you? My friends at Beyond the Bulb can help. They're the energy efficiency experts, winners of the PPL Direct Discount Contractor of the Year. They provide energy efficiency upgrades to commercial and industrial customers in the PECO and PPL utility service areas. They use the local rebate programs that are already there to offset most of the cost to your business. So go to the number one, beyondthebulb.com, or dial 484-246-6542 for a brighter bottom line today.
Jamie's log. Progressive. The Harrington's backyard. Day 27, 3:33 a.m. 333. All those threes mean something. Or I may be losing it. Been camped in the Harrington's backyard for 27 days now, proving that Progressive has 24/7 protection. They told me every day they understand what 24/7 protection means. Think I'm finally getting through to them. 333.
Progressive doesn't just offer a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, just not literally from Jamie. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's Jimmy Rollins here, and I've joined the Bet Park Sportsbook team. The new Bet Parks app is everything you want in a mobile sportsbook, right from your phone. It's easy to sign up and faster to win than ever before. Try our same-game parlays or bet live once the game starts. And right now, all new Bet Parks users get up to $750 sportsbook bonus back if your first bet isn't a winner. Go ahead and download the new Bet Parks app today. Win sports, Bet Parks.
See website for terms and conditions. Bonus funds must be wagered once. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Parks Casino is holding a job fair on Friday, November 4th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Parks East Building. Come visit our job fair for an interview on the spot for full and part-time positions. Parks needs enthusiastic and talented individuals to be part of the winning team at the #1 casino in Pennsylvania. Enjoy great pay, a flexible schedule, and the best benefits in the region. Think you have what it takes? Join the #1 casino team in the business on November 4th at Parks East. Visit parkscasino.com for details. Must be 21 to apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, this is Brian, and I'm the owner of Valley Grove Construction. We're expanding our team and hiring skilled and creative carpenters. As a company that truly values its talented carpenters, we prove it with top dollar pay starting at $30 an hour, an aggressive 401k plan, a generous vacation package, paid holidays, and even a $100 weekly travel allowance. You heard me right. That's over $5,000 a year to help with gas and vehicle expenses. If you're tired of not working with great people or just not doing the skilled work that you're capable of, then apply today at valleygroveconstruction.com. That's valleygroveconstruction.com and click the Join Our Team link.
Want to be the first to know what's happening at The Fanatic? Go to 975thefanatic.com and sign up for the Fanatic MVP Club. The Fanatic MVP Club. There's never a subscription fee, and it's only from 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
.631 here, 97.5 The Fanatic. It is Connor Thomas with your Eagles post-game coverage. I think A.J. Brown just burned the Pittsburgh secondary again. He's doing it all day, man. It's unbelievable. They're going to have nightmares of number 11, especially the two guys that A.J. Brown got the taunting penalty for pointing at. That's just, it's just incredible. You catch the ball, they both fall down. And then there's a great picture circulating is the word I was trying to say, circulating on social media of just A.J. Brown pointing at those players individually to remind them that, hey, I am significantly better than you at the game of football. And he's correct in saying that. I don't know, like, taunting penalties should be called when the guy who stinks over-celebrates, when you're down 20 and you score a touchdown and you do some special celebration or something like that. I don't know. When you catch your third of the first half, I think you should be able to do what you want. That's just me. But the No Fun League doesn't like A.J. Brown pointing at the Steelers and telling them that he is significantly better than them, which he is, which I don't know. I think facts should always be celebrated. That's just me. What a fun afternoon it was, though, right? Was that game ever in doubt? And Ray, who's on the board, Ray, was that game ever in doubt to you? Were you ever nervous whatsoever?
Not a second. I turned in the first quarter. I was with a couple of friends. I turned to one of them who happens to be a Steelers fan. I was like, I am not worried. As this is tied at 7, I'm just not concerned at all. Like, you've had your moment now. I'm glad you got your little end around and the throw, which, hey.
Yo, that was pretty sick, though.
Yeah, it was a good design. Good play design. Found out that he was a left-handed throw, which is pretty cool because I don't think that's on the scouting report at all, like which hand he throws with, so you're not expecting him to roll out and make a left-handed throw.
Yeah.
But I turned to him, I was like kind of like, congrats on your moment.
Yeah, that was the 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers version of the Philly Special. That's about as big as it gets.
It's gonna lead the video yearbook. That's the play.
Exactly. That's the one. Where it's like, well, we did have these moments. I'll tell you what, man. And too, if we're going to, I keep saying the word nitpick because it feels like any criticism of this team, no matter how slight, is not warranted after they put together a performance like that. And maybe that's true. But hey, it's my job to talk about these things on the radio. They kind of pay me to criticize. It's part of the gig. So, what are you going to do? The Brandon Graham penalty, we haven't talked about it yet. I don't even think I've mentioned it because, well, the rest of the game went the way it did. And there's so many other talking points that were more positive. A wild penalty that I can't remember ever seeing. So Pittsburgh, first of all, Mike Tomlin takes the coward's way out and decides to go for a field goal from like the 4-yard line, which was ridiculous. I think he wasn't going for it. And they're lined up. And if you didn't catch it because maybe you were watching somewhere where you didn't have the sound on, if you didn't have the sound on, you would have no idea what the penalty was for. But Brandon Graham, trying to simulate the snap call, I guess was yelling hike or hut or something at the center and at the offensive line, blocking for the Pittsburgh Steelers field goal attempt. And he got flagged for a delay of game for like non-football action. I still don't think that.
The referee didn't believe it as he was delivering it.
Yes.
As he was saying it, he was laughing at himself. Like, what is this?
Yeah, because he's like, I don't know what to call it. I just know you can't do that. So it was like semi-pro when they first throw the alley-oop. The referee's like, foul. No, 2 fouls. Can't do that. Like, I didn't know what was going on. But, of course, also, it's Brandon Graham. Like, if there was a player, and I know not currently playing, he's hurt, Derek Barnett. But if there was a player to get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the defense, you'd expect it to be 96. If you had to pick a player on the defense to get a penalty for, like, barking or trying to simulate the snap count or screaming at the offensive line mid-play, it'd be 55. It'd be Brandon Graham.
And we love him for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
in a way, he gave the Steelers the highlight of their season.
It was nice of him.
Congrats.
Yeah, that was very. It was a classy move by Brandon Graham. No, I don't really have any huge issue with him doing that. I honestly think it was probably a situation where he's like, I didn't realize I can't do that, and the argument is you probably should know that's going to be some type of flag or some type of penalty or something. But he's always talking, so.
But the question for me is, has he done this before? And because it's such a strange rule, maybe we just got caught with the wrong referee this week, where this is a thing that Brandon Graham's done, and now he's got to reconsider everything, everything.
I can guarantee you, without knowing for sure, though, I can guarantee you this is not the first time Brandon Graham has done something like that, something similar like that. And I'll tell you what probably got him. No one kicks field goals from the 4-yard line. It's just the officials were probably all so close that they actually hurt him this time. Otherwise, you think like there's two judges down on the end zone, like the end line, who have to be there to determine whether or not the field goal went in. And on regular plays, like the back judge is further back. I think it was just such a condensed play. Like so many officials were right in the area that someone caught it that time. But just a classic Brandon Graham antics there. I can't get mad at him about. In the moment, I was like, dude, come on, man. But with the result of the game, it's now one of those funny things where it's just like, oh, well, he's always talking. You figured it was going to be him. And hey, hats off to the Steelers for running a ridiculously cool play. It's probably the coolest play I've seen any team run against the Eagles so far this year. So,
And you get to file this one. As a good sportsman, you can file this memory of this call, and the next time you see a defensive delay game, I know what's going on here, guys. Let me tell you what's happening.
Yes, exactly. And now we learned something a little bit. See, Brandon Graham educating people, playing solid defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles. They getting just one little penalty that cost you 7 points, but hey, we'll live with it. I think he's bought some equity from some play back in 2018 that I'm trying to remember. Was that in the
something?
Super Bowl?
There was something I recall, but
yeah,
not
we
on top of the brain.
We won't get mad at Brandon Graham. Is it unfair? This is a totally crazy tangent, right? But is it unfair that I just took a shot at Derek Barnett and we say, well, Brandon Graham made the play in the Super Bowl, so he's always got equity. But Derek Barnett recovered that fumble on the very same play. And we're just like, yeah, you would definitely get a personal foul, though.
I think you have to take into account the number of times that you've been disappointed in him since. I don't think it's unfair. I think it's a warranted shot. I think it might be a little unfair because he's been injured for a while now. Now it's like, come on. But honestly, what he's done to us over the last couple of years, I think that shot's warranted. Yeah, I'm going to rule in favor of you on this one, Con.
Okay. Not in the best taste, but maybe warranted.
But it's okay. But it was okay.
We'll move on from the Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham portion of the program. I do want to take a little bit of a look around the NFL right now because we got some interesting stuff currently going on. We've got some interesting stuff that did happen. We talked about earlier, well, there's not that many good teams in the league. The Patriots took down the Jets. So everyone who thought the Jets were for real, Mac Jones just beat them, going 194 yards and 1 touchdown. So enjoy your 5-3 team. The Jets may still make the playoffs out in the AFC, but whatever. The Lions, who are 1-6 and still can't find ways to win, almost beat the Dolphins 31-27. Neither of those teams are all that good. The Dolphins have potential to be really good with the Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill combination, but they're only as good as Tua, and Tua, who was 382 yards and 3 touchdowns today. I still don't see him as one of the elite guys. I see him as top half of the league now. Still a little bit to be desired there, and that team just feels like one they'll be like the Saturday 1 o'clock wild card game and get bounced by somebody.
Yeah, the one that you're like, put on the background. We'll have everyone over starting at 4.
Exactly. The Saints blanked the Raiders. Well, so that's not good for the Eagles draft pick. That's a bad result for the Eagles this week. Of course, the Eagles holding the Saints first round pick, that'll go into a little bit worse standing. I mean, the Vikings won today, so they might be a good team. You've already beaten the brakes off them. The Cowboys were in a shootout with the Chicago Bears, which is ridiculous that defense gave up 29 points to that Chicago Bears offense. Justin Fields kind of balled out today, as much as one can ball out in that Chicago Bears offense. But the Cowboys now moved to 6-2. Like, I don't know. Are they good? Well, you've already beaten them, and I don't care who was playing quarterback, so don't be in my mentions, you rat Cowboys fans. about that. We'll see you on Christmas Eve, and we probably won't be playing anybody because the Eagles are going to be in really good standing. The Commanders are down 16-7 to the Colts right now with 11 minutes left in the fourth. The Colts are a very bad team. It shows you that Taylor Heineke is not the answer to replace Carson Wentz in Washington. They're still looking for a quarterback. The Rams are down 14-24 to the 49ers. I mean, I guess the 49ers are one of the more dangerous teams in the NFC with the Christian McCaffrey acquisition, but they're still 3-4 looking to get to 500 this year. I'm not worried about a 500 team when the Eagles are undefeated. The Giants just tied up the game at 13 with the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are kind of like sneaky, pesky, but the Giants 6-1 playing that team to a 13-13 tie right now with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about the Giants being a good team, but not a great team. I don't know, man. I look around the NFL, and that's just they're
a lot of slop. It's just not good football. There's just not a lot of good football out there, and that Giants-Seahawks game is kind of the epitome of it, where it's two teams where what you've seen should suggest that you're like, oh, hey, maybe we got something working for one of these two squads, and they're just playing to a low-scoring tie where it's like, no, these two teams aren't at the upper echelon of teams, but they also are not as sloppy and as bad as some of the other teams in the league, so they've taken advantage of that over the beginning of the season. But everyone's coming into the season like seemingly underprepared, not ready, not putting up points. And I don't know what to make of a lot of this. The Giants, to me, I don't know how many times you can come back and win a game the way they have over the beginning of this season. And for me, feel comfortable that it's a team that's going to be able to do that when the lights get bright and the playoffs start. But, hey, to their credit, they are what they are right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and just thinking about it out loud here, it could be because this is it's not the first 17-game season, but this is the first season following a longer season there. I know it's only 1 week, but then you have the playoffs added on after that for some of these teams. It could just be that you're a little bit more tired from the year before. It's a different dynamic having that extra week on there. Maybe that's affecting the quality of play, but the way I look at the hierarchy of the NFL right now, there are three teams that are legitimate, like these are the juggernaut teams. You got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills. And there's not even like there are some good teams category after that. There are a bunch of teams that are like in that next stratosphere that are, you could talk yourself into thinking they're good. The Giants, the Dolphins, the 49ers, maybe the Jets, probably not after today. Like, there's some teams that you can talk yourself in. The Cowboys, the Vikings. They're all right, but are they really remotely on the level of those top three teams? Well, record against them would say no. And that's what we're talking about. The discrepancy between those elite teams, and it's really just the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bills, in my opinion. Some people may disagree, but call it as I see it. Then there's a huge drop-off between that and even the next tier. That's opportunity. And those other two teams, they play in the AFC. If you can take care of your division, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, and they may be able to take care of it as Dallas seems to be gaining momentum, but still they've already got 2 losses. The Giants could potentially lose their second game today. Not a lot of room for error for any NFC team if they want to catch the Eagles for the number 1 overall seed. And I don't believe this is going to be the case because there's still a long way to go. Like we said, 10 games remaining for the Philadelphia Eagles, but there might already be no margin for error.
I don't think there's much.
No. I don't know that you're totally understanding me. There might not be any.
Well, yeah.
Meaning the Eagles may not. I don't want to. I don't even want to.
You don't want to do it without them having clinched,
but
right? Yeah.
They may not have a way. The other teams in the NFC to make up the distance already between them and the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's with a 1-loss team out there. So you understand what I'm saying without totally saying the U word. Because we've already said the S word. The Super Bowl is now something that we can comfortably refer to as a goal for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Not an expectation, because you can never really make I think it's foolish to make championships an expectation for a team. But definitely a goal, something that is certainly attainable for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not ready to say the U word yet about the regular season and then what would be the postseason as well. But it's something that's it's creeping into my mind a little bit. Got to tell you, they've got an easy schedule. They're firing on all cylinders. I'm knocking on wood, but injury-wise, hanging in there. Not much to complain about with the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
No. And looking at what we're saying about across the league, to me, it keeps coming back to quarterback play as to why we're seeing such, especially in the NFC. If you look outside of the Eagles, is there a quarterback that's played to their standard or better yet this year? Any good quarterback that's played to their standard or any quarterback that's really surprised you in the NFC is someone that's a difference maker for their team?
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I haven't watched a lot of Geno Smith. He's not remotely on the level that Jalen Hurts has been this year, but there's something going on there. We haven't seen Dak Prescott because of the injury, like really for an extended amount. They put up 49 points today. Maybe there's something brewing there. I don't know, though, man. Jalen Hurts is separating himself from the competition, especially in the NFC.
We're about halfway through the season. The best answer we can get for a quarterback that's done something in the NFC other than Jalen Hurts is Geno Smith. Like, no disrespect, but in that question lies kind of your answer of where the rest of the NFC is. Unless we see another quarterback in this NFC really start to have a season, the Rodgers of the world, the Brady's of the world wake up, or someone, Geno Smith keeps us out for an entire season and makes you think, okay, they really have something there. You're looking at a conference of just poor quarterback play. And again, the dangerous team of the 49ers being at 500. Jimmy G's gotten to Super Bowls. So, hey.
Yeah,
but he doesn't scare you. He doesn't scare you.
I'm not remotely worried about, especially Jimmy G coming into Philadelphia, because you got to remember, not only do you see the discrepancy, let me say the word correctly, Connor. You see the discrepancy between the teams, but you also have to think about those teams. It's not a neutral playing field. If things hold as they are, and again, long way to go, 10 more games, a lot of stuff to still be taken care of. A lot of things could still happen. The book of the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles still very much unfinished. But as things stand right now, not only do you not see many peers for the Eagles as far as talent level in the NFC, or really in football in general, you got to think about those teams that are a step below them having to travel to Philadelphia in the cold-ass weather to play in front of this fan base. I mean, listen, the Phillies are in the World Series. They're a really darn good baseball team. Super talented, awesome pitching. Regular season, we saw that they have their shortcomings. And we still, every once in a while throughout this playoff run, see flashes of their shortcomings while they continue to run through, well, they already ran through the National League and take the NL pennant. My point is, that Phillies team, and not that you can compare baseball to football, but they're much less of a complete team than what this Philadelphia Eagles team is through 7 games. The Phillies are through 170-some games, so a lot more sample size. All of this to say, you see what playing in front of this Philadelphia fan base does for that team. And they're good. No shade to the Phillies. They're a very good baseball team, one of the top 2 in baseball, but this fan base makes that team nearly unbeatable. Maybe unbeatable because we haven't seen someone do it yet in the postseason. Who knows what they're going to do for this Eagles team in a playoff environment when a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Kirk Cousins or even Dak Prescott, who cares, Dak Prescott, comes in here for a playoff game? Yeah, I'll take my chances with the Birds.
Yeah, you're adding also 25,000 lovely house guests, or house host, at the link compared to the 45,000. So we're at 70,000 people at the link. Yeah, I don't want to be walking in there in anything but Eagles green.
25,000 is a big crowd for some teams in the NFL. The Eagles are adding that on top of what the World Series baseball team is getting every night. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough environment to play in. It was a tough environment to play in today, and it felt like a lot of people weren't even focused on the game because of everything going on with the Phillies and the Union and the Flyers and the Sixers and a lot of stuff going on right now. I know the Phillies obviously the biggest draw. Surprising with how good the Eagles are, but it's a really good time. The Eagles are playing really well, and what more do you want me to say? You've got an undefeated football team in Philadelphia. They're 7-0, a short week as they head to Houston coming up on Thursday, betwixt a couple World Series games, and man, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it? That's our time on Eagles post-game coverage. I want to thank everyone who called, tweeted, watched on the YouTube, listened on the app, flew from San Diego to Philadelphia to catch the game, like one of our callers earlier. It was just, it was a fun time talking about this football game today. This Eagles postgame show, I mean, it's been a fun ride all year because all we've been talking about is wins. And hopefully, coming up, short week, Thursday night, be able to talk about another one in Houston. But all that matters, go 1-0 each week. And today, the Philadelphia Eagles did that, taking down the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 35-13. Jalen Hurts, 4 touchdowns through the air. A.J. Brown, 3 touchdowns receiving through the air. It was a vintage performance. And if I do say so myself, thanks to everyone who called and tweeted and listened and everything like that. As much as what Ray and Matt and Haley and I did here, well, y'all helped me make it a vintage postgame show as well. So thank you for that. Coming up next, Tyler Zulli, D. Lynham. They're going to have you until 10 p.m. talking about the Eagles, talking about the Phillies, talking about the Union. The Sixers, I'm sure, will be mixed in there. The Flyers may be mentioned in there. Man, it's just so much to talk about, and you got some great people to do it. So that's my time, and I will hand it over to them. I will talk to you next time on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, it's Jen Scordo. I love betting on the NFL. I'm always finding new player or game props. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley